Off.
Just making sure we're hitting the red button now.
The whole time.
Oh, gosh. What a deal.
Buddy, you look so dapper tonight.
Dude,
like you got
I
out of your
look-
truck in
Joggers,
tan joggers.
Khaki
with-
colored joggers.
Yeah, with those white shoes and then that white shirt and that nothing fancy hat that matches. And you're in your Oakley glasses.
Mm-hmm.
He looks...
I felt like shit.
You look like you're out on the
that.
prowl tonight. Like
No problem.
it really is. It's like
This is my didn't leave the house attire.
You're such a faggot.
wow.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful, dog. It's hard out here for a pimp.
He says 10 whole words during every podcast. The whole reason we keep him is for that one-liner or how well he dresses.
Yeah. Fashion
Yes.
tips with Colton.
Yeah.
Yes. It'll be a standalone show once this deal blows up.
He just unloads his
Fashion
closet,
Fridays.
brings it over and lays
Fashion
it out.
Fridays with Colton.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
All right,
That's
we
what
can
I'm
do
here
it.
for.
Man, I've been looking forward to Casey's episode.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Just because
Now we know why.
everybody
Yes.
kind of hypes her up. And I mean, like, I've seen her at the gym. I don't know if I've ever exchanged pleasantries with her. Other than, like, I walk by and I head nod her, and that's about it. And then this,
Yeah.
some rabbit trails.
Yeah.
I didn't know how much she wanted to talk. I knew that she would be good talking about the cancer thing, but then it seems like she just kind of breezed through it. And I was like, oh, maybe she's got stuff to do. Maybe we're done. And then, well, it's...
I couldn't decide, so she kind of glossed over the Colin thing initially. She was like, oh, he didn't make it home from work that day, you know. And then, boom, like we were on to, like, getting her poured out or whatever. Like, chemo was over, and I was like, we just missed, like, some really intense stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing what I had learned about Colin in the lead up, was like, she didn't mean to do it that way.
Yeah.
You know, like this dude needs his shout outs.
Yeah,
100%.
give him his flowers for sure.
And so that was
I don't
why
know
I
if you can
kind of,
say it like that.
that's what I said. I said it.
Oh,
Why?
That's fair.
Oh, yeah.
That's fair.
Colton can't say it that way.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. I just did that to myself.
I knew I felt like he needed, you know, or deserved some recognition.
Yeah.
For being the dude that he was. I was like you, like I was really looking forward to the episode because I knew it was going to be a really good conversation. Having done some internet research on Casey, and I told her, like at the gym, like the way I knew her story a little bit was because there was a cute girl that did jiu-jitsu that showed up on my people you may know on Facebook. And I was like, who's this? You know what I mean? Like, so I start Facebook creeping, basically, you know, like, what's her story, you know? See, she's friends with all the people at A-Force. I'm like, I ain't never seen her. So I start going through her Facebook story and then see the cancer thing and then go back far enough that I see the stuff with her boyfriend getting, you know, losing her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the, you know, what happened, you know, and learned about that. And so then she said something about if it was a women's own, or if it was only men that were on the podcast. I was like, no, like, come on. I know you've got a story. And so I knew she had a story, but like hearing her tell the story, like completely changed the level of respect that I had for knowing that she had a story. I had respect for her having endured that story.
Yeah.
And then hearing her tell the story, like 10x'd the respect. You know, like Casey's a badass girl.
100%. She's gone
Hell of
through
a human being.
She's gone through more than anything that any other human should have to go through.
Oh, and the timing of it
And she's handled it like a champ.
came out better. She's better on the backside of it than she was.
And I think it's going to be weird for her to hear it and think about it and process it because her losing Colin was a big deal.
Yeah.
But I think that he was around for the right time and he's going to make her what she is, but he's going to be a part of her story.
He has to be.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, she had a plan of being a young girl for him to be her whole story.
Right.
And now she's got to figure out how to make him just a small part of her story. So, I'm excited for everybody to get to meet Casey and hear her story. She's friggin' hilarious too.
Yeah. There's something. She's funny. She's personable. I mean, she's just a likable girl. And
You want to go make her a dating profile while we're here?
the thing that I would say is like there's life lessons in there for everybody. You know, regardless of
Yeah, for her to be
cancer
in her
or
20s and
tragedy.
tolerate all this stuff that I'm like, I don't know how I would deal with that in my almost 40s.
Yeah.
How she's literally rebuilt herself from the ground up.
Yeah.
She had to completely reinvent herself and start from scratch all within like a month.
Yep.
We usually come out of these like kind of laughing and joking and, you know, what a great episode or whatever. That one was heavy. That was the heaviest one so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, by far.
Also, I think the most valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's Casey.
I feel like my brain doesn't think in tournaments sometimes. It just does. My body just does it. And I'm like, oh, crap. Like, I'm doing this. So I, like, knee slice through. And my buddy Taman had showed me this move from Fight Club where you, like, push their head. And when they come back, you underhook the right side and then knee slice across the left. So you, like, cross body, right? So I pushed her head. And I didn't think I pushed her that hard. My friends said they were all laughing in the background.
Oh,
I
like you smacked her.
Because I, like, whack.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny watching it back. She didn't react like I thought she would, so she didn't fall back as much. So I forgot to like go for the underhook as she was coming back up. Knee slice too far. Immediately thought I was going to get a wrist lock because her hand was right there. And then I said, crap, I went too far. Turned into her, triangle. Crap, crap, crap. This is not where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
But I had that left arm through and it didn't really get scary at any point. And my coach just kept saying, throw that leg over, throw that leg over. Normally I can lock up a triangle on them. And it's like a double triangle, and my legs were way longer than hers, so I was really hoping. But she tried to transition into a mount. That knee fell right there, and I grabbed it. And it's just because I've been drilling it for
You recognized
6
it.
months. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty smooth.
I panicked, and I like stood up because I thought I was going to get DQ'd or something. I thought I kicked her when I was like coming over it, so I didn't think it was an actual tap because I didn't think I had it locked up well enough. And the look on my face when I raised my hand, my coach was like, can you act like you've been here a time or two? Can you act like you've done this? Because, like, you looked completely panicked. And I was like, I didn't know I got it until I raised my hand. And it was a really cool moment because I was like, I could go tell
really?
my
You
mentor.
didn't know?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, did you put... I was wondering how you saw this, but I'm assuming
It was
that
on Facebook.
Yeah, I see this now. Which one did we fight first? The girl in the pink or the red? Red spats? Pink shorts.
Pink shorts was second.
Okay.
Red spats, the knee bar was first. It's like a 30-second. I got it in 25 seconds.
Yeah, it was super fast.
Oh, yeah, you did push your head pretty good.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, damn,
That's
she
a
almost
really
like
good cut.
hit her. And then you said that about the
Oh.
sloppy knee cut, and it happened so fast. I was like, what's sloppy about it? And I thought that you didn't get the underhook.
I missed the underhook completely.
Jesus,
So-
you almost got triangled.
Yeah. Like instantly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
almost
she
got wrecked.
reacted fast.
Yeah. That girl's 15.
Too many.
God.
And
Really?
her quads, I walked up and I said, oh no. So when I got stuck in her triangle, I was like, I got to do this quick. Like, I got to get out of this quick because if she starts locking this up, I'm not going to have any space with these quads.
15.
15.
Jeez. Is
A girl I got knocked out of the bracket by was also 15 or 16.
that the girl in the pink shorts?
No.
Oh.
So I haven't posted the third match yet.
Oh.
That was
Holding
my
out on
second
us.
match. That was OT of my second match. So that girl was a fresh purple belt. We went 0-0 in the first 6 minutes. It was an absolute dogfight. I wrestled more than I ever have in my life, I think. And I did some funky, like, half Nelson type stuff.
I see that.
All the stuff I've been doing in 6 a.m.s with A-Force people because I'm having to wrestle. That's basically Drew and Terry most days. So
Who's
just wrestle.
Terry?
Terry Shue. He does open mat sometimes, but he's a white belt. Big, compact guy. I say big. He's shorter, but he's really like compact and muscular. So I'm basically having to just wrestle dudes in the morning, which is great work for me because I'm so used to being stuck on bottom and just pulling out funky moves, and they're not letting that happen. So I'm having to learn how to survive on like out of that. And I think that helped me a lot with this because she was pretty good at, you know, doing a lot of the wrestling transitions and flipping over. And she literally grabbed both of my knees at one point when I tried to scissor, and just, she shut that down immediately and was like, no, I'm controlling this now. And I was like,
And then she just stood up.
she just stood up.
Yeah. Jeez.
The 15-year-old did all that?
No, that was the purple belt.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
the
it's purple belt, girl.
So we went in 6 minutes, 0-0, because ADCC rules are no points first half. So if you pull guard first half, there's no points penalty. So it's 0-0 by the end of the first 6 minutes. Nobody controlled a top position because I did the takedown, and then I just controlled bottom position, and I was trying sub attempts. So I love subs from bottom. And I've been trying to work on playing up points, but it wasn't going very well. We went into overtime. I got takedown points, didn't secure the top position before I went to my back. She got top position.
Straight for a
She
sub.
got top position in the last 15 seconds. Had I won that, I would have gone to finals and gone against a UFC fighter.
Oh, really?
So you lost by points?
I
2-4?
lost by points. 2-4
Oof.
in overtime to a purple belt. And I'm so sad. But
Well.
it was huge progress.
Yeah, you
like
can't
I can
be
say,
mad about that.
I can say
You're
I went toe
supposed
to
to
toe.
lose to a
I
purple
also
belt.
put her in crucifix. Did I sub her? No. But I got her in a crucifix.
But you were there.
So I was like, I was there. I scared her. Her
Yeah.
coach said, your legs. No, thank you.
That's a true story after rolling with you the other day at class. Like I was telling them, you're like rolling with a spider. Like you got legs you can reach. Like how many times did you have me set up in a triangle?
Enough.
And it's not like we were going at it hard, you know, like it was a leisurely roll, but like I would try to do something and then whack, like a leg around my neck. And then from some other position, like a leg around my neck. Like
See,
you reach up and grab it from just about everywhere.
I think I need to slow down on that, though, because I do that in tournament, and I'm just throwing submissions instead of controlling.
the position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a fatal flaw of mine is I'm almost throwing too many, and they're not like
Yeah.
secure.
Right. That makes sense. That's something that I've tried to work on a little bit in class. You've noticed it. I think we talked about it one time. Like I was kind of a little bit more controlling of some of the guys that we typically roll with. And I didn't get any finishes when I don't really get finishes when I roll like that. But if I get to like heavy side control or heavy mount, I'm not trying to hit a submission, and I just control them and cook them. Like you don't really lose position, but then I get lost in like trying to set up a submission. Once I get to mount, like I can't finish anything from mount.
I think I need to start getting out of my comfort zone more and doing those positions that like I absolutely hate north-south. I feel so uncomfortable doing north-south because top pressure has never been my game, not once. So I need to start working
Also,
into
whenever
those
you fight up.
positions.
2 weight divisions.
4, 5,
Yeah.
whatever they give me. As a staff member, so I travel with them pretty much any time now, and they say, hey, you're a really safe competitor. We've watched you compete. Like, we have teenagers that need matches, and they're roughly your weight or your technique, or, you know, they're not, and they just need matches, and I'm kind of just their scapegoat, but
Yeah.
it's experience for me. So I take just about any match they'll give me. So,
What are your jiu-jitsu goals competitively?
have a good time.
Really?
Like, I have goals. Everybody has goals. Like, I like to win, but I travel and I like to compete, to meet new girls, like to train with. The women's open mat we started with A-Force, I had 16 girls come in one day, and most of those were competitors I've gone against before. And I was like, hey, come train with me. And they were like, hell yeah. It's just building a community. Like, I absolutely love the socialization aspect, the friendships we've built. You get to train with ladies because there's not a lot of us. So building that community is really, really fun. And it's really important. And that's kind of the biggest reason I compete, just to
Really?
have fun. And I'm the social chatty Cathy in between matches. I trade croc charms. I'm like, hey, we're in the bullpen and we're all getting ready to go try to strangle each other. You want to trade croc charms? And they're like, what? I'm like, you want to be friends? And they're like, hell yeah.
Want to be friends?
Yeah.
Croc charms are a thing.
Yeah. They're called gibbets. Technically, I call them croc charms, but they're just cutesy. I hate crocs. I hate the way they feel, but they're great, honestly, jiu-jitsu shoes, and you can add little decorations to them. Makes tournaments fun.
Crocs
Oh.
are not just great jiu-jitsu
Matt's gonna
shoes.
start
Crocs
rocking
are just-
Crocs for all the time now.
Crocs are just great shoes.
You
No.
ain't crocking, you ain't rocking.
Oof.
I
Amen.
always say.
Ugh.
I love them.
Grown men get so excited when I give them a croc charm for their empty crocs. I'm like, hey, this one's for you. And they're like a present? Yeah.
Like, how do they attach?
You just
Are
pop
they
it
like
into the
pins
little.
or
Yeah.
and they have like a back on them or something?
You just no, they're just one piece, and you just pop it into the little slot in the Crocs. Because they're flexible. The Crocs are.
Yeah.
Walker's gonna go order a bunch of Croc charms off Amazon.
Oh,
now.
100%
Yeah, I
no.
didn't know
Oh,
this
they're
was a
so
thing.
fun. They're so cheap. Do you have Crocs?
Yeah.
Do you not have a Croc charm yet? Have I not?
No.
Okay, so I'm like a Croc charm bandit. If I see a pair of Crocs that doesn't have them, I just go pop one on.
But I've just got like generic ass like Walmart ones right now though. I don't have cool ones.
Do they have a Croc spot? Like a little gibbet spot? Like a little hole?
They've got holes.
Okay, then you're going to get a Croc charm.
Yeah.
I've learned new terminology. Gibbet spots.
There's the next.
Now I got to
Grind
get like
merch.
forever Crocs. That
Croc
are they
gibbets.
transferable from Croc to Croc? Like, so if I get new Crocs that are like nicer Crocs, I can swap them.
You can trade them. I have one Croc that has non-tradables that I will not give anybody, and then I have one Croc that I'm like, take anyone you want.
What's a non-tradable Croc
Just the ones that I
charm?
think. I have a balloon dog that's like 3 times the size of a normal Croc charm. My friend got it for me for my birthday. You absolutely cannot have that one.
This is like as gay as the ducks on the dash of the Jeep.
It
but
is so
really
dumb.
close to that.
It's so dumb, and it brings me so much joy and whimsy. Like,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
I was going to say it's like cops and challenge coins, but I didn't want to put myself in that hole.
It's kind of the same thing. I was thinking the same thing.
Hurts my feelings to say that, but yeah,
Kind of the same thing.
kind of puts me in that hole.
It's also like super silly, and that kind of makes it fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Stickers and Croc charms are like big things right now. So I have a different water bottle that's just covered in stickers, but I just got this one and it's not good.
Speaking of
What?
stickers,
Stickers.
Oh, yeah. Colton, they're right in front of you. I hit him right there. You've got a job, Colton.
I get a sticker.
He doesn't do anything else. He might as well hand out stickers.
I showed up.
everybody gets a gift, kind of like the Sean
That's what I
Ryan
did.
show.
Yeah,
Everybody gets gifts.
We
These are
don't
legal
have-
legal in all 50 states.
Yeah, we don't have buddies at SIG named Jason or anything, or any friends at Silencer Shop, but we do have stickers.
I love a good sticker.
Yeah, they're not a Croc charm, though.
No, they're equal level.
What
Yeah.
if we get GRYND Croc charms made?
That's what I was saying. Like, we have a merch idea now.
That seems super gay.
Well, that's fine. There's like 37
You could just
stickers
get the
here.
Y.
Yeah, which is like the sticker he's getting ready to hand you.
Which one is it? Is it the one
Just
with the
hand her all of
belt or
them.
the-
I mean, like one of each.
You're shaking
Yeah.
like a dog shitting razor blades, Colton.
No,
What's wrong with
joke.
you?
I have a condition.
Coupled with his poison ivy condition right now and his
Yeah,
sunburn, and
Yeah. It's been a gnarly week.
it's been a rough week.
Where are you going to
Yeah.
put these stickers? Where are they going?
Apparently not under Crocs.
One on my laptop for sure. And then I'll find a good place for the other one.
Hey, that one's got a black belt on it, so not a big deal. But see, Croc charm. Turn that into a Croc charm.
Absolutely.
Can you personalize and order your own Croc charms?
I almost guarantee you can. It's 2026.
Okay.
There's that one.
Tried, but I might.
Okay.
I might make some chaos Croc charms.
That's something.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your nickname, isn't it?
Is my nickname. It's my entire personality now. It started as a joke because I like survived
One more.
chaos. And then I started playing funky jujitsu guards. And somebody was like, you kind of just are chaos, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. So
Embrace it. I don't have a cool nickname, but just embrace it.
Yeah, I don't have a cool nickname.
absolutely.
Either. Kinda hurts.
I actually got confirmation. So I have this chaos tattoo on my arm. And I made a joke one time. I said, wouldn't it be so funny if I like went for a choke and somebody just saw chaos before they went to sleep? My buddy told me, he was like, you went for a RNC the other night and I just saw chaos before you strangled me. And I said, no way. And he's like, yeah. And I said, you just made my absolute whole year saying that. So it did work.
That
Now
would
I
make me happy.
kind of want to find something on the right for the right side to go with it.
Do chaos upside down.
That would be funny. I
Yeah.
do a lot of funny
Yeah.
inverted. Oh, that's. I'll
Mirror
give you
image of
credit
it.
if I ever do that.
Deal. You know, you've seen those guys that like say it's like whatever writing, and then one way it says veteran, the other way it says something else. You ever seen that? Yeah, same thing. Just the mirror image of chaos.
I
Find
like it.
somebody that do it.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Well, thanks for coming here and doing this. I know that you are like well versed in the podcast industry, so you're going to tell us everything we do right, everything we do wrong. If we do something wrong, just stop us. We can take breaks. You've got your emotional support water bottle, and welcome to people that you barely know from the gym inviting you to a basement to talk about jiu-jitsu in your life.
So I actually thought it was Matt Walker or Matt Hay that said it because I trained with Laura quite a bit. So I just saw Matt post about a podcast and I was like, oh, is it like women included? And you were like, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, oh, okay. So I texted Matt and he was like, or I messaged him and he was like, no, not me.
You're like, God, what did I sign
I
up
said,
for?
wait, do I know the people I just agreed to? Nope, not at all. But that's okay because I love to socialize. So
Yeah, but I realize that can be intimidating whenever we're like, hey, here's my address. Come on in.
it's less intimidating when we've rolled or like we hang out at the gym. So I've made sure to talk to Colton and I rolled Matt the other night. And unfortunately, I have not rolled you, but
That's fine. I was gone. I literally just came back from South Dakota. I've been home for 3 hours, cleaned my truck, took a shower, ate a little bit of food, and here we are.
well, welcome home.
So my wife and 6-month-old baby are pissed that I haven't been home for 5 days. And I was like, hey, people are coming for podcast. It's Monday.
You absolutely could have rescheduled this.
Nope. I knew what was going on when we signed this up, so it's part of it.
Alrighty then. Well, I'm excited to be
The
here.
life that I chose. All right. Let's intro Casey.
I mean, I don't know her that well.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I
You
mean, she's
you just get to start then. How about that? Tell us about you.
Oh, that's
I would introduce her
broad.
as a new friend to everybody through jiu-jitsu. That's what, I mean, we've made a lot of new friends at the gym
This has forced me to be friendly because I'm kind of a prickly person by nature.
same.
And this has forced me to be friendly. Like once I get to know you, I'm fine. Or like talking to a complete stranger, go sell something or sell them to go to jail or something. I can talk to them and I'm fine with it. But like, do I want to go actually socialize? Not always. But this has forced me to not be prickly. And
I used to be super shy. My aunt would have to pay me to give her a hug because I just did not like socializing. I didn't like people I didn't know, and I didn't see her as often. I did my immediate family, so she like family scared me and stuff. So I used to be super shy. I get it. I was never super outgoing and stuff until kind of everyone knew my life story, and then I was like, I say everyone at the time. My world was the size of my house for about 2 years. So
You can tell that you're like a shy person by nature, just through like body language and like how you talk. You can tell it's like almost forced. But like at the gym, I mean, you introduced yourself to me at the gym.
oh yeah,
because she was
Came
figuring
up
out
and
who
you
the
were like-
weirdo was that was inviting her over to it.
I didn't invite her. She was
I invited myself.
She was like, I want to come on. And I was like, hell yeah, I know you've got a story to tell. So like, let's do it. And then, and it kind of got left at that, and then she came up and was like, well, I guess if we're going to do this, I should introduce myself. And like super social. I mean, you're a social person, but like sitting here talking, you can tell it's not natural.
Well, the gym's my like home.
Yeah.
No matter where I'm at, like exercise, friends, we're all there doing a shared hobby. Like that just feels comfortable. And I'm not saying I'm not like comfortable around you guys, but it is like a bit odd walking into
I 100%
house
agree
for
with
the
that.
first time.
Yes.
So
I
I do dig the space though. I kind of want to space I live with my mother. I'm 28 and live with my mother currently.
It's all right.
So I have very little space of my own. So I'm like kind of jealous of your man cave.
yeah.
I want a little chaos cave.
We got a house coming up for rent.
I am about a year away from moving back to Springfield.
Are you really?
Paying off. My goal is to pay off all my non-student loan debt because I have some medical debt remaining and stuff like that. And just I've moved probably 3 or 4 times back and forth to Springfield in the last 3 years because of roommate issues. Just had a whole lot of struggle to find a spot again. But I am this close to everything working out, and I am so excited for it. So
To go back to Springfield? Yes.
I know it's not Springfield, it's Springfield Fight Club. So it feels weird. Like I absolutely love A-Force, but I also do have a home gym that I'm like actively trying to get back to every single day.
Right.
I get
It's
that.
very weird.
A-Force is kind of home away from home kind of thing.
Oh, it has turned into the best second home. This crew. Drew like yelled at me the first time I was in there, and I get no idea who this man was. He was like, Casey Lee, and I'm rolling Harley, and I kind of look up and I'm like, who in this gym knows me well enough to like yell my name across it? And it's this guy, and he's like, we were on the same card at the Tap Cancer Health thing, and I said, holy cow, we were. That's cool. And like it already felt like home at that point because I was like, anywhere I have a shared experience with a Tap Cancer Health homie or something, I'm like, oh yeah, we're friends. Like we've got something already, so it's easy to bond.
And Drew is pretty much friends with everybody.
Absolutely.
He is a golden retriever.
Absolutely.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's-
Of all of the people to like walk into A-Force and be like, hello, welcome. Drew and Randy.
Yeah, Randy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Randy is a staple in the gym for sure.
When is he coming back?
This week.
Is
I
it this
think.
week?
I think it's this week.
I've
yeah.
heard it was this week.
I thought it was last week and he didn't show up.
Yeah, it's this week, I think.
Old people in recovery, it takes a while
Yeah,
sometimes.
that's fair.
Wouldn't you know?
Oh.
So that's how it's
Yes.
Yeah.
And
If
this
I'm
is why
not-
you're here, Casey.
If I'm not making fun of you or like calling you out or trying to
Gonna be that way.
get you to absolutely just wreck me in a role, then I talk mad crap to people.
Oh, this is great. This is what we need.
Yes.
I just have to get a little bit more comfortable, and clearly I am.
Yeah, glad we could do that for you. So let's get this show on the road so we can get
So
it over
glad we
with.
could
Get the
get
fuck out of
started.
here.
That's like,
Everybody
anyways,
makes fun of
I
Matt.
picked wrong. She is not welcome on the podcast
Yeah.
anymore.
No, she's
The
super
fuck
welcome.
is this
Anybody
guy?
that'll
Here I
make
was
fun of
gonna,
Matt.
gas her up and say nice things about her, and here she is throwing daggers.
Yeah. In her defense, you are old enough to be your dad.
Yeah, probably. How old are you?
28.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, definitely.
for sure. All right, so growing up, say you're 28, living with mom. What happened before that? Let's start. You started off when you first came in here and said you grew up around here. You don't have to
Yes.
give away like county roads or anything, but like you grew up in this area of Southwest Missouri.
Yes. So I moved around quite a bit as a kid, pretty much always in the area except for a brief stint in Oklahoma. Born in Joplin, Carthage area, moved around for family reasons, dad's job, stuff like that. Oklahoma probably before school ever started. Right around the time I, became a person and started remembering, life as existence instead of just being a little child that
Yeah.
can't remember anything. Remember being in Oklahoma, and then we moved back for, I think, my grandpa's death to Circoxie area. And then I moved to Carthage for high school and finished out there. And then Springfield for college, and back and forth from here to there for the last few years.
Missouri State?
Yep, Missouri State.
Okay.
Moved there for my best friend in high school, and then just kind of fell in love with the area. Not necessarily the city, because I don't really like the city, Springfield, but the people. I just ended up, I've always lived in small towns, things like that, and having a fresh start and that many opportunities.
There's stuff to do.
It was just
Yeah.
huge. Like small farm towns, I grew up literally 15, 20 minutes away from most grocery stores and stuff
Right.
like that. It just wasn't for me. I didn't like it.
Sounds like heaven to me.
I don't love being dead center city, right outside.
Yeah, having people walk by your window and seeing
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
I could probably enjoy where I lived younger, when I was younger now,
Mm-hmm.
but at the time I just could not. So I immediately wanted to just go somewhere bigger. But that's probably about as big as I want to live.
Yeah.
'Cause
I think everybody does. And maybe I did that. I think most people try to do that. You take whatever you've born and raised in, and you're like, I just want the total opposite. Let's
Yeah.
go
Yep.
experience it.
But it does, areas like this, Ozark, Nixa, stuff like that, they're a little bit slower paced.
Yeah.
Absolutely would love to find a house and settle down somewhere around there, just a little bit away from Springfield itself, but still connected.
Go in the city, do what you want to do, and then go back home and forget about it.
Yep.
Yep.
I went to college in 2015 for exercise and movement science. I kind of didn't have a plan when I started. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a premature baby surgeon. You cannot be a premature
Very
baby surgeon when
specific.
you're blind in your left eye. I'm legally blind in it, and it's never really affected me. But when you start college and they're like, oh, you're definitely not going to be able to be a surgeon. And I was like, oh, my whole life, I never really put two and two together. That would be a bad career choice. So
When did you find out you were blind in your left eye?
6. Technically 8, because had we caught it before 7, they would have corrected it. But I was so young that it just didn't ever really change anything for me. So it's like a blurry watercolor painting. I can see some things coming at me, but if I cover my right eye, it's pretty bad.
Okay.
What was the cause of that?
No clue.
Just a development, just
Yeah,
the way it developed?
I think it's a lazy eye for the most part. The optic nerve didn't fully develop or something. If I ever want to do MMA, this is actually a terrible thing to be talking about on a podcast.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking all right, so she likes to fight people that are bigger than her. I am definitely bigger than her, so I'm going to always try to go at her left
So
side.
here's the thing. It doesn't matter because I'm going to be able to feel what you do.
Yeah, unless I run away.
If you run away and you take out my right eye, I'm in a bad spot, all right?
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is MMA a goal?
It was not a serious goal, more of a I kind of want to step in a ring and see if I can handle myself, like take somebody down. The thought of getting punched is not super appealing.
And kicks.
And also getting kicked,
Yeah.
not super appealing. I don't ever want to get elbowed.
Yeah, checking kicks is not fun.
No. I feel like if I had 6 to 12 months of serious sparring training, I just haven't had that chance with Fight Club because of the moving back and forth. But if I don't do it before I'm 30, I'm absolutely not stepping in a ring.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
don't blame
vow
you.
to myself because that's just, I feel like that's
Getting a little behind the 8 ball at that point.
Yeah, and with my story we go into a little bit, it's like my 5-year plan ends around when I'm 30, and I kind of set myself up for a different future. And getting CTE from
Yeah.
taking too many fists to the head and sparring training or stuff like that, it doesn't sound like a great plan.
Nope.
Fair enough.
Plenty of concussions behind me. It's not the best. It's not the most fun thing ever.
I have a couple just from sports and stuff, but I don't need to add. But it is still just like kind of like, can I do it? Can I last in a cage? Can I go in there with somebody my height, my weight, have somebody, because it is a safer environment than, on a street fight.
100%. Yeah.
My coach was like, oh, I say we just go get you. I'm not going to say which coach. I say we just go get you in a bar fight. And I was like, absolutely not. He said, why? Like, it's so much safer. They're drunk. And I'm like, they're drunk. What do they have on them? Mm-hmm. A knife? A gun?
We'll frisk them real fast.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to go up to a random stranger at a bar and just be like, hey, let's fight. I'd
think
rather
that-
do it in a sanctioned,
I think that's a
hey,
way better idea.
there's a medic, there's a ref,
I
there's
dig
a
the
rule
bar
set.
fight idea.
Okay.
$100.
Part of me wants to get in a bar fight, but also I'm
like
terrified.
a gentleman's agreement bar fight.
Yeah,
not
I mean,
just
like,
like
let's
she's
make
gonna
it
go
look like-
bump into some chick and start flirting with their guy, and he's gonna be like, "All right, here we go."
Well, that would be cool too.
Oh, I almost did that with my nemesis in jiu-jitsu. No, I did. I hit on her man right in front of her. I did not know it was her man. And she death glared me, and I said, oh, I hope I never get on a mat with her again, because the way she looked at me was not good.
Okay.
It was not good.
There was your bar fight though.
No. Nope. She's an actual MMA fighter.
She's like, I want to
Oh,
fight
yeah, you
someone
don't
who
want that
knows
one.
zero jujitsu.
Yeah, you don't want that one. Okay, so maybe the bar fight's a bad idea.
Yeah,
but it
I think a
sounded fun.
sanctioned event would be way better.
Yeah. So, like, there is that itch. Like, I do want to step in a cage, but also, I don't know if I want to get hit.
I don't blame you.
So.
Getting hit sucks.
Drunk bar fight. Just freaking start the fight and then pull guard and heel hook them.
No. I don't use jiu-jitsu for evil unless they sign a waiver.
Oh no,
I mean, it's a
super
fight.
Fun.
It's not for evil.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. After seeing all those faces and stuff, there's no way.
All the faces.
Like everybody's face after they come out of a UFC fight.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
The one in the
man.
Las Vegas Sphere,
Yeah.
where her face was ripped open from end
Like
of
temple,
eyebrow
temple?
to across her
Yeah.
nose.
Which one was that?
One of the first ones in the Vegas Sphere.
Did I watch that event? I
It
don't
was-
remember it.
Oh, I'm going to have to pull up. Dude, her face was gnarly. Like, I'm glad I watched that one, but I hate that I watched that one. It's so
Who did
bad.
Joanna fight? Joanna
Young Jake.
Yeah, Joanna Champ as Chael calls her. When she came out of it, like she looked like an alien whenever that beating was over. I think it was Zhang Wei Li.
She's
I believe.
mean.
Yeah.
And then who's the girl with the shaved head who always like
Rose Namajunas.
Namajunas.
She's a fighter.
She is a
Yeah.
fighter.
Yeah, she throws down.
This is right before she took one more across the bridge of her nose, and it connected.
Good galley.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I don't remember that.
Oh, she looked disgusting. But honestly, the stitches, they did a great job.
Oh, they had
Because I
some
looked for the follow
phenomenal,
up, and
like-
you could barely tell that her
Really?
her freaking skull was showing. And it
Those
was
plastic surgeons do wonders, but congratulations. I mean, I guess.
Jamie Christmas.
God bless.
What gate you win for winning on 250? How much did he make?
His bonuses was $850.
Yeah.
So he can probably go pay for a good plastic surgeon to fix something.
He didn't have anything needs fixed.
No.
Yeah, I guess not.
He
just
didn't
got that-
come out of it
He
looking
just
like-
kind of talks
Yeah.
kind of weird sometimes.
Yeah, he's punch drunk.
Yeah.
that was UFC 306 with Irene Aldana.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. And I definitely watched the event.
I feel like the only UFC events I've watched, because I don't watch a ton of jiu-jitsu or martial arts outside of class. I've just seen some absolutely gory scenes because there was a guy with completely bleached white hair and he got a gash above his eyebrow. And by the time he was done, you definitely thought he was going to lose because he had blood everywhere. Finished the dude and his hair was just bright red, covered. And I was like, oh my, I'm going to call him Bloody Mary because he literally went from like white hair to just blood red.
I don't know how people do it. I don't want to take a beating like that. That's insane.
Yeah, the getting punched thing isn't.
Yeah.
And then I talk about that, and now I don't want to get in a cage for it. But
He's like,
give me a few weeks, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you go in there and you shut the door. I mean, you can always tap.
Exactly. I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
I'm really good at that. I panic tap sometimes. Not gonna lie.
How many competition matches do you have? It's a bunch.
I'm gonna be honest. I lost track over 100 and some. I normally keep a little bit better track, but I've been just going nonstop for 4 months when I hit that 100 mark, and I haven't. I think I hit that in February. So
When did you start competing?
September of 2023.
So you compete quite a bit.
I started out with 1 tournament my first year, and then I went to 3 tournaments, and then I started working for them, and I think I went up to 10 the next year, and now I've gone every other weekend.
Holy smokes.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Actually, where do you want to start at? Because you're going to have so if you listen to Ian's episode, because you said that you listened, thank you so much for being a female listener. I'm
Of
pretty sure
course.
you and my wife are going to help our female stats.
Danny helped.
Oh.
I'm about to get hooked up with Danny.
Are you going to see Danny?
I need a new chiropractor, so
Oh, yeah. Go see
I need
Danny.
one in the area and not in Springfield.
Go see
Danny's
Danny.
awesome.
So-
Danny's wonderful.
That is my goal. Where does she work?
719 Main, I believe, is the address.
Yep.
It's called
It's
Active
Active.
Health.
Active
Yep.
Health.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Our new favorite attorney in town just moved right there, the big block building just to her north.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yee.
So thanks for listening, but you will understand what I'm saying. So Ian's episode was a little heavy. I understand that you have some very heavy parts to your episode, so you get to pick where you put that in.
Okay.
First, middle, or last. Girl, you're running this thing, so tell us whatever you want to tell us.
So the hard part of that is that the last question you ask everyone
Yeah.
is typically the why. And
Yeah.
that is honestly my whole story.
Okay, I guess it's going to come last then.
So it's just so hard to work around because there's going to be like,
Well, then let's just dive into it, and then we'll answer it. And then, I mean, what, 95% of ours get answered way before, so it's fine.
She texted me and was like, is there any questions I should prep for? And I was like, well, the one comes at the end usually, which is like, why do you keep showing up or
Yeah.
whatever? And I almost sent, like, usually by the time we get to that point,
Yeah.
we're like, we already know the answer.
Yeah.
Because we've been sitting
Yeah.
here talking for 2 hours.
But then
Like,
we just we'll give you a minute to kind of expound on it and be like, all right,
Yeah.
just, yeah. So start wherever you want to.
long story short, I am a cancer survivor of going on, I guess when this drops, it'll be my 4-year diagnosis anniversary next Monday. So,
Well, there's timing.
Talk about timing.
You scheduled this though, right?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
So she's a thinker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am, because it's like part of Ian's podcast, and I'm going to rabbit trail a lot. And
That's
I told
totally
Matt
fine.
that he has to chase me, and he said, no, I'll go with you.
We have nothing else to do. You've got us.
So part of Ian's podcast was like, his body knows, but his brain didn't, right? My body knows that anniversary is coming up. My body knows there's another anniversary coming up.
Yeah.
It's just like there. So I was like, podcast, oh, I'm super busy, but this is such a cool opportunity. Like, I get to meet new friends at a gym I'm still getting used to and getting to know. So that's a pro in doing this podcast. B, I get to market myself, which is always good when somebody's trying to, spread their story and stuff. And C, I just get a chance to, talk about my stuff again.
Yeah.
And that helps heal a lot because when your body knows anniversaries are coming up, you don't get to sleep and you don't get to hang out with people as much and you don't get to do the things. You don't get to experience the joy you normally do. And I was like, podcast on my anniversary, super busy up until that, but I ended my big tournament. I was like, that sounds like perfect timing for like a reset for the year.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to go into my last year of my cancer watch in December. And getting to share this story and kind of where I'm at in the progress in the last 4 years is huge. Because 4 years ago, I was bedridden. And I was dying of a stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma, softball-sized tumor in my chest. And then a week later, my boyfriend, who had got me that diagnosis and pushed me to get that diagnosis, was at work at a gun store and ended up dealing with a robbery and did not make it home that day. So not only am I a cancer survivor, but I have this huge weight of the person that got me through this is no longer here. How do I manage? And he actually did jiu-jitsu. So it's really cool because I had never stepped foot in a Saito martial arts gym before, but I had cancer and my boyfriend had just passed away and he had done jiu-jitsu and he had said, I'm going to earn my purple belt for you because your cancer ribbon happens to be dark purple. I'm a blue belt and I feel like I'm on the verge. I'm just on the verge of getting my purple belt. And I know if I show up the way you're about to show up for yourself, we can both get this purple ribbon, purple belt together. And I was like, that sounds crazy. Like, I just got my diagnosis and you're talking about me finishing treatment. There's no way I'm even going to make it that far right now. We got to think day by day. And he goes, no, we're going to do it. So I'm going to get my purple belt. You're going to get your purple cancer ribbon. And he didn't make it that far. So I had this promise from a man that never broke promises. And I had to keep this. So I had something to keep me moving. I had something to push me every day. So as soon as I basically got done with the funeral, his coach had given him an honorary black belt at his funeral. And I said, yeah, but he never got that purple belt. There's a purple belt just waiting. So now I've got to go. I've got to go start martial arts. Got to go do jiu-jitsu. And I hate feet, dude. Freaking hate feet.
Yeah.
I got to go touch people's feet and do leg locks and crap just to get a purple belt. So I got to push through a bunch of stuff that like I've never been comfortable with before to keep this promise. But having that made cancer kind of like a cakewalk. So Ian made a comment. He's like, Casey talks about this so well. She's so confident. Well, you can hear there are things that I'm not easy to talk about, that aren't easy to talk about. And it's just kind of how we like perceive things. Everybody's story, everybody has this weight hanging over them pretty much at all times. Everybody's got their trauma. You have your story, Colton. Mm-hmm. We heard Ian's. I got to hear a little bit of your backstory. Got to hear a little bit of everybody's, but everybody got this weight, and jiu-jitsu has helped me carry mine. And that sounds so weird, but jiu-jitsu gave me a reason to get physically healthy again when I was struggling with not wanting to get out of bed.
Yeah.
So I said long story short, I'm a cancer survivor who the cancer was the easy thing. And it's weird to say that, but I kind of rabbit trailed a lot.
That's totally fine. So
and went everywhere.
That's
so
fine.
sorry.
So if we back up to, you said next week is the 4-year diagnosis anniversary,
yes.
right? So you said he pushed you. How long had you guys like been together, and then how did you kind of know, like, what led you into thinking that this diagnosis was pending?
We met in 2019, before I had any symptoms, before COVID, before basically I was probably right before all of my health started to decline. And I was 22 and drunk at a bar, and my boyfriend had just cheated on me, and my puppy had passed away same day. And I was like, yo, I'm going to go make a bad decision and hit on this drummer at a bar. Sounds like a great idea. And he turned out to be this just like incredible Christian man. And I was like, this is so wild. But we were not in the same path at the same time. He wanted to kind of get his life together a little bit, and I was the one going out hitting on drummers at a bar. So we were not in the same area. We split up. COVID happened, 2020. I kind of matured a little bit, isolated for 5 months.
Yeah.
And my cancer symptoms started, and I didn't really know what they were, but I was like, something doesn't feel right. My legs started getting really itchy out of nowhere. It kind of felt like chicken pox 24/7, but it was just my lower legs. And then it kind of started working its way up. But COVID ended, isolation ended. Colin and I reached out back to each other. I accidentally ran into him at his gun store. I didn't see his truck. I was like, oh, I'm going to go avoid him. Like, he was the love of my life, and he broke up with me. But I need a gun at some point. So I walked into the gun store and he is like dead center. And I was like, oh, I didn't see your truck. And he goes, nope, sold it. COVID, got better money. All right. So we reconnected, hit it off. And he's like, I'm in a better position. I was like, I think mentally I am too. Physically, did not realize where I was at. Probably would not have started something with somebody had I known the intensity of what I was about to go through, because it was real heavy. We reconnected. I think we moved in probably 6 months after reconnecting. I think my car broke down. And then I got COVID. And then I got shingles. And it just like kept stacking, right? And it was never the plan. He was always saying, no, if you move in before marriage, like you're roommates, right? So his brother had a fiancé / roommate.
Yeah.
And it was always the family joke, like, oh no, they're just roommates because, they're not married. So we ended up moving in together out of basically necessity. And we did care for each other a lot and we loved each other, and that was always going to be the plan, but we kind of got forced into a situation that I don't think he was ready for yet. But it was his decision. He said, nope, here's a key. I always feel like that affected a lot, because when you are fresh in a relationship and somebody gets sick, you now have to take care of them. Well, you didn't sign up for that immediately. At some point, absolutely, yes. So we spent a year and a half dating at that point, and the whole time it went from bad to worse with my symptoms. So there's this boy that sees me as this party girl, fun, full of life, to someone that doesn't get out of the house. She doesn't get out of bed. And it's just different. And it's hard. And we spent a year going to doctors, trying to get answers. And as soon as we do, he dies. And I become the absolute healthiest version of myself, and he doesn't get to see that. And that, honestly, is the worst part of it all. Is that he's the one that pushed. He's the one that was like, okay, there's something wrong with you. At one point, he sat me down and he said, are you dying? And I was like, no, what? I'm 24. What are you talking about? I feel like crap. No, I'm not dying. And I was about 6 months from dying. At the time of my diagnosis, I had weeks to live. So the timing of all of this, he met me when I didn't have cancer. He knew what I looked like healthy, right? And then he sees me a year later. And I'm still fairly healthy on the outside, but it's starting. And then he sees it literally take over. And had he not seen that, I would not be here. I lived an hour away from my family. I self-isolated. I couldn't go in public because I was scratching 24/7. So there's this embarrassment of like, I look like I'm on drugs. My brother cornered me at a bar and was like, what drugs are you on? I was like, dude, I'm not. He's like, what drugs are you on? I was like, I'm not on anything that's going to make me do that. Like, I smoke weed sometimes, but, I'm not on meth, I swear. I know that's what it looks like. It looks like I'm shooting up. I have a BioLife scar. Like,
because you're already skinny and
I'm skinny.
You already lost more weight.
5'10". I'm probably 108 pounds.
Oh yeah.
At this point, I'm so sitting right now. I'm 140, but I'm on a weight cut, so I should probably naturally be at like 150.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 108 pounds at 5'10". So
Holy
I look
smokes.
I look gaunt. I look like a
Skeletor.
skeleton.
Yeah. We've arrested people that look like that.
Okay, so you guys, it's so weird because you guys don't know my story from before. You guys weren't, kind of around Fight Club.
Yeah.
They watched me walk in. Most of them were at the funeral. Most of them saw me like heavy. So I'm going to bring up a picture and show you just the difference in the 108-pound version while I'm talking about all this. But yeah, it was a whole different version of me. My brother, they were all thinking I was on drugs, and I was like, I'm not on drugs. It's just I physically cannot stop scratching. And that was the biggest issue. That was what I went to the doctors for, like, over and over for months, and I just kept getting turned down. At one point, they told me I had scabies. They gave me an ointment to put all over my body multiple times, and they were like, yep, you basically have bugs in your skin. But
Was this doctors in Springfield?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's I went to some urgent cares. I went to some dermatologists. I switched shampoos. I switched laundries. I switched shampoos. I thought about giving my dogs to my mom for a few weeks, which is that's end of the world for me because those dogs are I had one at the time. Dog is my world. So I was willing to go to the extremes because this was literally driving me insane. I was waking up bloody. My sheets were bloody from scratching in the middle of the night, and I wouldn't realize it. I would just wake up covered in stuff. So it was disgusting. I felt terrible all the time. I didn't want to go anywhere. I was losing weight. Just had no joy for life.
Yeah.
It literally was I'm not comfortable in my own skin. This sucks.
What is going on in your body at that point to create the itch?
My lymph system.
So is it something lymphatic,
It's-
trying to purge
it's
impurities?
Absolutely lymphatic. Basically, my lymph system was just inflamed and overwhelmed, and I was basically just trying to scratch it out of my skin because it follows your vessels, your blood vessels.
Right.
Same exact path as your blood does. So it started pooling in my feet, and that's where it got itchy first, and then it worked all the way up to my head at one point. By the end of the 2 years of scratching, I was just head to toe.
So there's a person who, can't really discuss the person, but there's a person that I know who has actually dealt with Hodgkin's lymphoma, is currently dealing with it, and they never brought the itching up. Is that a common symptom with it? It seems like it could be. That's a good call, Trent.
It is. I was actually promised that those would be there earlier.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I
promised her cotton candy grapes too, but we fell through on that deal.
No. I can bring myself back together pretty good most of the time, but those are helpful.
Those are pretty much for me.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here needing them myself.
When
Yeah,
people
I've been
cry in
sitting
front of
here
me, I'm a sympathetic.
Sorry, I do-
Sympathy pukers. I'm a sympathy crier.
Thankfully, I am not a sympathy puker,
Okay, well, I'll sympathy cry with you.
but I am a sympathy
Yeah.
crier. And I also, my story does make quite a few people cry. Makes myself cry quite a bit. I'm trying to find this picture of my face, but it just I looked like a skeleton. It was completely different. I didn't want to go anywhere. So he saw me full of life. He saw me at the absolute end of the line. And my doctors said, had you come in any later, we don't know. So my tumor was growing around my lungs and around my heart. It was not in my lungs or in my heart, but it was in that pericardium space. Mm-hmm. And basically my lungs couldn't expand and my heart could no longer expand. And my heart rate was 160, just resting. And I just constantly felt like I was just going and I was sitting still. But I was also scratching. It was just full body terrible, 24/7 for 2 years.
I think that's really what meth. Everybody says that's what meth
That's
feels
what it
like.
sounds
yeah.
like.
I couldn't tell you, but I feel like I have a pretty good guess of what I've never tried it. Don't think I want to, based on my
No.
experience. I don't think any high is ever worth
No.
that. No. This was 2022, June 29th, 2022. I get my diagnosis. The leading up to the diagnosis. Basically, I'm done with doctors. They told me I had scabies. They told me it was in my head. They told me to try therapy for 6 months because COVID isolation, you're a woman and you're used to socializing and you got isolated and, you're just in your head. Try therapy. So I tried therapy for 6 months. And that's when I started losing weight. And that's when the big issues came out. And I stopped trusting doctors. I've heard you guys talk about that on a podcast. I stopped trusting doctors. I still don't really trust doctors, but I kind of have to trust a few of them right now. But no, they told me it was in my head. I went to therapy and then my therapist was like, nothing's working. I'm like, no shit, nothing's working. I've been telling you guys that for months, years, 2 years. I don't know what's going on. I quit. And Colin's like, don't quit. One last chance. Go get an x-ray or something on your chest. You got a cough. Like I said, smoke a little bit, telling on myself. My parents know, so I guess it's not as big of a deal, but I've always kept that on the DL. But
We don't care.
no, it's more of I know you guys don't. General public.
Oh,
So,
it's legal.
absolutely. And I had cancer. So
It's medicinal, right?
Judge me if you want.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I was smoking to try to get, appetite up, things like that. Just stay awake for more than an hour at a time, really, which funny with weed, opposite reaction. But it was just trying to get calories in my body, things like that, not feel miserable. And I had this cough and I was like, that's not a weed cough. Definitely something wrong. And they were like, no, it's a COVID cough. And they would never do anything about it because COVID changed everything. COVID changed healthcare as we knew it, right? COVID cough turned into, okay, this has been here for months. Okay, now it sounds like there's literally something trying to come out of my chest every time I cough. He's like, go to a doctor. That cough sounds terrible. Go to the doctor. Try to schedule, go to the doctor, and they say, hey, do a virtual appointment with us first. You might have COVID. Say, I don't have COVID. I took a test. And they're like, nope, you've got a cough, so you can't come in. I do a virtual appointment. I tell them I lost 20 plus pounds in the last 6 months, and they go, why didn't you come in? Dude, what? You just told me not to come in. So I don't go in. I don't go in that day. I go in the next day for a chest x-ray. And I see the x-ray before I'm supposed to. And they're not the ones that are supposed to give you the information. They can't tell you anything other than we took a scan.
Yeah.
I see it. I wanted to be a doctor. I took enough anatomy classes to know that whatever I saw on my chest was absolutely not supposed to be there. I take a quick picture. I go home. I panic. I fall asleep on the couch. Like, I cry myself to sleep. I think I had my first ever actual panic attack. And then Colin walks in the door from his lunch break, and I'm getting a phone call at the same exact time. And I'm like, oh, that's weird timing. I pick it up, and they're like, hey, you have a massive critical size tumor in your chest. You should come in for a CT scan, like, right now. And I'm like, hey, Colin, I have a massive tumor in my chest. Jeez. And he's like, I'm going to go tell work I'm not going to come back in. And I was like, sounds like a great idea. So we immediately rushed to go get a CT scan. He's already texting. His dad had cancer. His dad passed away of cancer. He's been through this. Too much for one person. He texts his family nurse basically and says, hey, girlfriend's got a tumor. What is it? Because they haven't told us anything. They're waiting until after the CT. So we get looks like Hodgkin's. Seems like Hodgkin's. Symptoms are lining up to be Hodgkin's. Prepare yourself. Awesome. CT, you have a critical mass in your chest and we need to get you in like as soon as we can. So we're going to do a biopsy Tuesday. So this is a Thursday. I believe my virtual appointment was Wednesday. CT was Thursday. Thursday night, I go in, or I try to fall asleep, and I can't sleep. I can't breathe. As soon as I lay down, I feel like there's a softball-sized tumor in my chest for the first time. And I'm like, wow.
Everything's making sense.
Everything makes sense.
Yeah.
Holy cow. So I am up all night coughing. And Colin was such a heavy sleeper. Dude was out like a light. And my mom was in the other room. My mom came in because she's obviously freaked out. She drove in from Joplin. She's sleeping on the couch. And she's like, I was up all night with you. I was like, awesome. Nobody's got any sleep except Colin. And he got like 3 hours probably. Friday, I called him and I was like, I didn't sleep. I'm going to die this weekend. I feel like I'm going to die this weekend. And they were like, well, nope, we'll get you in. So they admitted me that day, said we can't do anything for you diagnosis-wise until Tuesday, but we can keep you comfortable. And I was like, okay, because like if I stop breathing, nobody here can do anything. And I think it was more of like the panic set in.
Yeah.
So I take everything. Dude, I didn't know how long I was going to be there. They're telling me I have a softball-sized tumor in my chest. How long am I going to be at the hospital? Am I going to get to come home? Am I going to come home? So I pack just like a fan because I'm like constantly sweating, stuff like this. I pack whatever I can. I take it and I pack my work stuff. Like I literally had somebody bring me a laptop. I was like, no, bring me a laptop. I got to stay busy, right? Like I got to keep my mind focused. Like Saturday and Sunday, I'm in the hospital working with a tumor in my chest. And I'm like, no, I got to stay busy. I got to like keep my mind off of this. They give me probably the strongest pain meds you can. They gave me not so strong pain meds. And I said, these are doing nothing for me. I'm still itchy. I'm still like, everything hurts. I'm panicking. And they were like, okay, we're going to try Dilaudid. And I was like, no clue what that is.
Send it.
Yeah.
By the end of that week, I was like, anytime you can say yes to Dilaudid, yeah, I was going to say yes to Dilaudid. I was like, that instantly made cancer feel like it was gone out of my body. I felt nothing anymore. Terrifying how strong that was. It was instant. But it was the only thing that gave me any peace that whole week. So every 4 hours on the hour, they came in. And it was like, my body knew too. And that was so scary. Yeah. I was like, is this going to cause an issue? Because I didn't want to start. That's why I asked them to start with the smaller dose one. And they were like, no, it's not going to cause an issue. Like, you don't have access to this. And I was like, okay. And not that I've ever had that, like, be an issue. But it's like, I've never had to need that strong of a pain medication like this. It was a whole new environment for me.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, but addiction's a real thing,
It
and
is.
if you're like if you care about your body, you're just scared in general.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it like
I get that.
had to ask those questions, but no, it was the only thing that genuinely made me feel decent. The only thing it did not do was when I got my bone marrow draw. It did not do shit for that.
Yeah.
Because they gave me a dose, and then 30 minutes later, they came and gave me another dose. And that still did not do anything for the pain I felt. So all of the things I dealt with cancer, like, yes, it was agonizing, like torture, just scratching myself for 2 years. But the physical pain was the like bone marrow draw, because I was wide awake for that. And they went in and they drilled into my bone and my lower back, and then left the piece in there because they twitched.
God.
And then had to go back in and tweeze it out and then get the actual sample. It was miserable. And I said, "Can I take a picture of that?" And he said, "No." And I said, "I grew that with my own body.
Yeah.
And you're not going to let me take a picture of the piece of bone you just took out of me. I've never seen my bone." Like, and he was like, "Yes." So I just have a picture of a bone sliver on my phone. I'm like, this is the thing that caused the absolute most pain in my entire life. And then they said, "You're going to have to do another one of these at the end of treatment." And I said, "I would rather," this sounds terrible, and I apologize to anybody that cancer has ever made into their bones, but I said, "I would rather find out that my cancer was in my bones before doing that shit again." That was the most painful. I was crying, hugging my mom's hand, just like waiting for it to be over. Miserable. Dilaudid did nothing for that.
Yeah.
So it was a good week because I wasn't feeling pain. I wasn't scratching. Tuesday, diagnosis comes, or biopsy comes up. And it was really weird. They just went in, and it was kind of like an endoscopy down my throat. And then they just scraped tissue. I don't know exactly what. It was probably the simplest procedure I had the whole time. And then they were like, "Yep, it's exactly what we thought. You have stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma. Okay, so your treatment for that is chemo." I thought we were going to go cut my chest open, take the tumor out. I'm now terrified. Like, that's open chest surgery. Like, that's terrifying. Nope, chemo should take care of most of it. This is one of the most, quote, curable cancers, if not the most. The only one we'll use that word for, like, seriously. But it is very aggressive, so we need to start this, like, now. So biopsy Tuesday, diagnosis Tuesday. My port goes in on Wednesday. This is a week from, "Hey, I have a cough, I need an x-ray," to, "Hey, we're going to put this very serious life-saving device in your chest, but you've got to go under for it." I go under, and they have a medical emergency for a staff member. So I'm 108 pounds. I go under for surgery. My parents and Colin all hear the alarm. They all hear the medical staff. Like,
Yeah.
they now think I'm dying under anesthesia. Oh, no. I wake up on the table because they have now not focused on me long enough that staff is now the issue. I wake up and just see a blue sheet, and I'm like, "Whoa, I'm not supposed to be awake right now." So I start like muttering, and they're like, "No, back to sleep." I go back to sleep, but not like see the lights and everything, and I'm just like, "This is so weird. I thought it was a dream." No, they had a staff medical emergency, basically right at the time that I went under. So it took 2.5 hours instead of the 45 minutes they expected. So my family, like, they had to rush out and tell me, "Okay, it wasn't your daughter. Like, your daughter's fine, but we did just
Had something else.
So yeah, so it was chaotic from then. I'm looped up. I just had before they even took me in there. This is the craziest story. Before they took me in there for that surgery, the guy came in, the little patient transport was like, "Hey, I'm just coming in, gonna take you to surgery. Can you confirm your name and your birth date?" And I said, "Can you tell me your name and your birth date?" Like, just messing with him. I'm on pain meds. I'm trying not to go into surgery right now.
Yeah.
He's like, "Casey Lee, August 21st. And I said, "No." And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "No, that's my birthday." And I thought he was messing with me. But you can't give patients that info because you have to verify it.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't thinking that through, but he's like, "No, that's my name." And I'm like, "No, it's not. That is my name." And he looks at his chart because he hadn't looked at it. He was waiting for me. And he goes, "What?" And my mom pulls out my license, and he pulls out his license. Same name, same birth date. Guy's about to take me to my surgery. He's about to save my life.
so crazy.
That's wild.
I got a picture with him. Oh, that was the picture I found for the gaunt face look. Of course, my phone closed it. But yeah, this guy named Casey Lee. Sorry, Casey. It's spelled a little bit differently, but took me to my surgery, and I was like, just weird things happen at weird times for the reasons, and I think that distracted me from about to go into surgery for the first time ever. And this guy just completely distracted me. It was crazy.
And he had the same birthday also?
Same birthday.
That
We're
is
friends on
wild.
Facebook, I believe now.
Yeah, that's cool. Wow.
You did look pretty rough there, though.
Yeah. So it was very, very weird coincidence. So I get my port put in Thursday, port put in Wednesday. They give me 24 hours and they say, we're doing chemo tomorrow.
So within 7 days, you went from I have a cough and a scan to I have my first round of chemo?
I have, yeah, pretty much.
Jew.
So Thursday, I do my first chemo, and it's 2.5 hours, and it's in the hospital, and I sleep the whole time. I'm just out. And within 2 hours of chemo, I stop scratching, mostly. But my legs are healing, so there's still like dry skin and stuff, but like I don't like need the incessant urge to scratch. Like I don't have to scratch 2 hours after chemo. Magic. It literally felt like magic. When I finally got my diagnosis, my doctor walked in the room and she goes, "Hi, my name's, Jessica Snyder, and I'm here to take care of you." And she shook my hand and she grabbed it, and my hand, so my skin was all calloused. Like even my palms, my feet were all itchy. So I would just sit here and just like literally scratch. So they had calloused skin. So she grabbed my hands, and then so when she shook my hand, she then just flipped it over and wouldn't let go of it. And she just like felt my calluses and stuff, and then flipped my hand over and goes, "Yep, I know exactly what you have." And my brain's like, this woman is a miracle worker. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, there have been so many doctors.
I've been wanting to chime in on that. Like,
Sorry.
well, no, like I'd be hijacking this story, and I don't want to do
No,
that
throw a
because
flag
the
on the play, like,
story's
tell me to
like,
pause.
like the story's fascinating, Casey. But a year and a half of being like something is obviously drastically wrong
Yes.
for a year and a half, and you get told you're fucking crazy.
Yep.
You've got the sniffles.
Yep.
You've got COVID.
Yep.
You've got scabies
And shingles.
and shingles. And like I said, I know somebody that is dealing with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and they got to run around a little bit, but not, I mean, you're talking
Can I ask if they're male or female?
female.
Okay.
We might need to, like, that'll probably have to get deleted out, but
Yeah, you can delete it. I just needed to know for my reasons, because I was
Yeah.
like, there's been a lot of stuff with females and lack of health diagnosis.
yeah, so the diagnosis for this person came pretty fast, but just hearing you tell the story and the fact that you've gone a year and a half as sick as you were, like losing, like everything that was going on, it's fucking obvious. Like you're drastically sick.
I had no eyebrows. My eyebrows fell out before chemo. Like I literally just had no eyebrows. My hair was falling out.
That's from like nutrition stuff, or
Yeah. Like looking back, all of it adds up.
yeah.
When I would eat food, if I didn't like chew it for like 5 minutes and I swallowed a bite too big, my back would just hurt. Like I swallowed too big of a bite of food, and I'm like, that's so. I'm eating soft food. It shouldn't hurt. Like it's because my tumor was around my trachea.
Is that where the Hodgkin's tumors happen? Is it usually in the chest, throat area? Because that's same location.
It can happen anywhere.
Really?
Lymph nodes. It could happen in lymph nodes.
Gotcha.
Any lymph system. It's common-ish, but it can happen anywhere.
Gotcha. Continue the story. I just hearing you tell the story and get the run around. It's just.
I would also, I don't take the side of medical professionals very often at all. I would also bet that the COVID thing played a lot into your delayed
Huge.
diagnosis.
Huge. Yeah, absolutely.
Because, I mean, we could go, we were dealing with the coroner then, and someone would die, and it was like, oh, yeah, he's got a bullet wound in the back of his head. He's like, well, let's COVID test him. Yeah, he's positive, so, well, COVID it is.
You
I'm
want my
like,
conspiracy?
all right.
I don't have very many. I'll listen to people's, but I don't have many of my own. My conspiracy is that COVID and Hodgkin's, whatever genetic mutation that COVID is part of, including the live vaccine that they've given people, affects your immune system so much it can create cancer. I fully believe COVID gave me cancer, like 99.9%, because of the regulations they implemented in hospitals, without outing too much. The doctors that got FMLA or got diagnoses of things after mandated vaccines.
Yeah.
I never got the vaccine, but I got COVID back to back, 3 times, back to back, 3 months apart. Every time.
Do you think that could have been because I mean,
The immune system was down? Could have, but I was a perfectly healthy individual before all of that.
I guess
And then I
so.
got shingles, and then I got all of this stuff. And I think that first time getting COVID genetically altered something. That's my conspiracy. I think Hodgkin's and immune system issues, because there are a lot of reproductive health issues women have had, miscarriages, things like that, after there's no correlation to the COVID vaccine. Yeah, there's no correlation of anything to COVID because we don't know what the heck COVID does to our bodies. We don't know what the COVID vaccine did to our bodies. So I think there's a huge connection to a lot of immune system things and some cancers that we're seeing and the rise of that because Hodgkin's has been very prevalent in the last few years. So, but that's my own. Have not like deep dived heavy into it, but I definitely think there's a connection there, and I think COVID played a huge part in the misdiagnosis of my issue as well because of. We don't know what COVID can do. It can do so much to you. It can give you a COVID cough for 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you just covered up my cancer cough. That was my cancer blocking my lungs.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so hearing your story from the outside looking in, I'm normally the first person to jump on conspiracies, and I didn't even think about that. I was like, oh man, I think cancer probably screwed her diagnosis and made it a lot longer. And I'm wondering how many people ended up dying with something, and then they happen to have a cancer because COVID kind of delayed those diagnoses because of those things like that.
I don't know where I rabbit trailed off from, but
Can you explain the difference to me between Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's?
not really because I didn't have non-Hodgkin's.
Okay.
But non-Hodgkin's is worse. It's, if you have cancer, there's one to have, right? Everybody would tell me, oh, at least you didn't have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Right.
Because that one's, quote, worse. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I almost died from mine, so I thought mine was pretty bad too. So
Hearing-
kind of like what Ian said.
Yeah, hearing you and Ian tell the stories about, both cancers. And I'd be the first to admit it, like hearing about Ian's and the treatment, where the cure rate, I guess, or the survival rate for that cancer, and knowing that Hodgkin's is a high survival or high cure rate. I would say the same dumbass thing. Like if you're going to have cancer, that's the one you want.
And then,
And that's a
Well, I
stupid,
think-
it's,
like leukemia is like the highest cure rate, right? What kiddos get normally?
I genuinely don't know.
Okay.
Colin made me promise not to Google cancer.
Oh.
Not to Google my cancer.
Yeah.
And I Googled it every now and then,
Yeah.
for little things like, hey, can I take this or can I do this? Like things like that. But I never
Looked into.
I'm honestly probably one of the least educated cancer survivors.
It's okay.
But it's because I didn't need the information at the time.
Yeah.
And I don't need it right now because I'm not actively battling it. So
All right. Well, then let's catch up to how many. Did you do chemo and radiation or just chemo?
just chemo. So 4 months in, they said, hey, let's do a check-in. We'll do a PET scan, see where. I called him Tony the tumor. It was just my, giggly little thing I did
Way
in the
of dealing
hospital.
with it?
Yep. There was this reel going around where it was like, what's your name? Tony.
fuck you, Tony. Yeah.
So, drugged up Casey in the hospital was like, fuck you, Tony.
Okay.
So it became
Love
Tony
it.
the tumor.
Tony the
Love
tumor.
it.
Yep. My mom hated that. Absolutely hated that. That I was just screaming that every chance I could. But, fuck cancer. So.
How many rounds of chemo did you have to do?
12.
12?
Every 2 weeks for 6 months I did. So 4 months in, we did a PET scan, and they were like, your tumor is basically half gone. Like, it is shrank significantly. We have full expectancy for it to completely disappear with 2 more months of chemo, or we can do radiation. And I said, nope, I thought the plan was just chemo. And they were like, well, we want to give you the option, but with you being 25 at the time, we don't really want to give you radiation because that can lead to breast cancer later in life. So, all right, well, let's not cure cancer with cancer. So we stuck with chemo, and at the end of the 6 months, we did a CT scan and a PET scan, and I was completely clear.
Cool.
So I've had one issue about almost a year to the day. It was a year to the day of my diagnosis. That they were like, oh, hey, you have a lymph node that's, popping up on this PET scan. We should definitely do a biopsy on that. And I was like, holy shit, what about the timing on that? That's too much. That's too on the nose. And thankfully it was just a flare. PET scans throw false signals for Hodgkin's. So we no longer do PET scans. We do CT scans every 6 months. And currently I am clear. So doing good on that.
And knowing just a little bit from Ian's talk, so you're in the surveillance stage. Do they offer
Yes.
you other options or?
No, I'm in a 5-year watch. So I told them I want to start jiu-jitsu. I told them they knew my whole story. The whole chemo center knew Colin's family. The whole chemo center knew that I had just gone through 2 terrible things. So they were watching out for me the whole time. As soon as I told them I wanted to do jiu-jitsu in his memory, they were like, all right, let's get that chemo poured out. So they called me December, I think 22nd of 2022. And they said, I think it was the 23rd actually, December 23rd. And they said, hey, you're cancer free. And it started snowing, and it hadn't snowed yet. And that was always Colin's like thing. So I was like, it's snowing. I've got like frozen confetti coming down. Hell yeah, no more cancer for Christmas. And they were like, all right, come in tomorrow. And I was like, for what? And they said, we'll get your port taken out. I said, what? Like now? And they said, yeah, tomorrow. Can you come in tomorrow? We drove through a freaking ice storm or snowstorm to get that port taken out before Christmas. And I still have it. It sounds disgusting. I have it in a little bag somewhere. She cleaned it up for me. She's like, do you want to keep it? And I was like, can I? Like, absolutely. I'm a weirdo like that. Like, look at this tiny little thing that saved my life. And it grosses my mom out. So it's always fun.
Okay.
So I got my port taken out. And 6 months after I got my diagnosis, almost to the day, I was completely cleared.
Sweet.
So, yep, end of 2022. I went into 2023 being completely cancer free. And the end of the 5-year watch will be 2028. And it'll be my 30th. I'll be 30 shortly before that. So it's kind of like my 5-year cancer watch.
Cool.
5-year reset plan.
So you've been on the jiu-jitsu mat since when?
2 weeks after I got my port. No, yeah, 2 weeks after I got my port taken out.
All right.
I basically still had stitches in my chest.
Okay. Anything else you want to cover from cancer journey, Colin's journey, before we do the deep jiu-jitsu dive?
No, other than just the fact that his gym became my home, and that was so helpful in all of this. Like every day through chemo, I said, I'm going to Springfield Fight Club when this is over. And they were like, okay, we'd love to have you. And then I walked in the doors and they were like, you did it. Like, you're actually here. And I'm like, I'm here. And I haven't looked back. So
Cool.
Yep.
Start from there.
All right. So in January 2023, I walked in the doors of Springfield Fight Club with a head balder than my grandfather's. Literally had my grandpa's hairline. And then I started jiu-jitsu, and I couldn't even like sit up with a person's body weight on me. But over the first 9 months, I got really, really, really into it, really comfortable with it. And I started competing. At one point I told one of my coaches, I was like, I'm going to compete. 6 months into jiu-jitsu. Just now probably learned how to like survive around. I'm like, I'm going to compete in jiu-jitsu. I don't even stand up at this point because I have like my bones, my body hurt quite a bit with cancer and all that stuff. Like, I don't want to get thrown to the ground. I just sat on the guard, and that's the story of how I became the most notorious guard player in the 417, because I will sit down any chance I can get. But I was like, I'm going to go compete. My coach was like, you're not aggressive enough, and you talk way too much on the mats. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks. I'm going to do it anyways. 3 months later, I win my first match, and I win a gold in my bracket, because it was only, at that time, it wasn't double elimination for the bracket, so I won one, and I won gold. And I got her in 47 seconds, and I was like, hey, I kind of like this thing. Kind of like this thing a lot. And then my next match, I just get absolutely dog walked. Dude, I pressure tapped. She got high mount. She didn't have a sub. It was just scary. The girl was so scary. Oh my gosh, her forearms were massive. And she was just like huddled over me. And 12 of my closest friends and family are all on the sidelines. Like my mom's wearing my cancer shirt, like all this stuff. And I'm just like, I look over and I panic. And I like start to hyperventilate. And I'm like, this is terrifying. I can't breathe. And I tap. And I'm like, I don't even think I tap. I think I say, I'm done. I'm done. And she's like, is that a tap? And I'm like, yeah. So she like has to tell the ref I tapped, because I didn't even know like how to tap. Like I knew how to tap going into it, but I panicked. I was like, I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. And then I just kind of fell in love with it after that. I don't know why.
I bet she felt like a piece of shit just tapping on a girl who just beat cancer.
No.
You
Totally would have exploited it.
Yeah, you should have played that card. Like Colton should play his disabled card. You should have played that
So
card.
with my
a little
friends,
harder.
I absolutely do. Oh yeah, I'm like now, so when my diagnosis, a potential second diagnosis, I call it, came back, I was like, so if I have cancer and you beat me up, did you beat cancer? They're like, how does that work? And they were like, I made jokes about it a lot because I genuinely think if you can't find humor in a situation, then you're not going to be able to get through it very well. I found humor in the worst situations because Colin had dark humor. And I've made some terrible jokes about that. And I know he is laughing his ass off about them because that was just his style. And I think that helped me cope a lot. But started jiu-jitsu, did that competition and fell in love with it. And I actually met somebody at that very first tournament that said, hey, I saw your mom, is that your mom's shirt? And I said, yeah. And he goes, so you beat cancer? And I said, yeah. And he goes, that's so cool. I have competed with Tap Cancer Out before. Do you know anything about him? I said, no, I've never heard of him before, but I'll look into him a little bit. He showed me a tattoo and I was like, that's really cool. And it was kind of like this, cancer, it wasn't really a cancer, but it was a jiu-jitsu belt. And then they had, cancer stuff around it. I was like, oh, that's kind of a neat little concept, but I haven't heard of it. I'll probably look into it later. And it kind of like left my mind. Probably about 4 months later, haven't competed again. I'm looking at 9 months between competitions at this point. I'm like, okay, I got to really prepare for these competitions. I, got dog walked by this girl. I don't want to get that. Don't want to have that happen again. I look into Tap Cancer Out and I'm like, oh, you can do your own fundraisers and stuff. That sounds like a really cool way to just like kind of get involved and give back a little bit, but also get my foot in the door with more jiu-jitsu stuff because I've actually really started falling in love with the sport. Like weirdly enough, like people are sweating everywhere and it's disgusting. And I'm absolutely in heaven every time I go on those mats. It's so weird. And I start planning like, hey, I want to do a fundraiser this year. And that was 2024. And I hit up the coach at Fight Club. I hit up Gabe. And I say, hey, Gabe, I want to host a fundraiser in December. And he's like, no, hit me up in November. Like, hit me up. Like, cause he didn't think I was serious. And it was just like, he's a busy guy. And he's like, let me know when you've got stuff figured out. And like, I'll approve basically whatever. You just like, let me know the details close to it. I jump into planning everything. Start competing a little bit more. I've done 2 more competitions. I'm actually kind of good at competing. I'm not very aggressive, but I'm really funky. And I've got this style of like, it's not really rubber guard. Nobody really understands it. I don't really understand. I still don't really understand it. I panic and I pull stuff out of last second escapes. I put myself in some bad positions and then figure it out. And it kind of just feels like a metaphor for life because I've been in some really bad positions and I figure it out, right? So it's like, it's chaos. I am chaos. I've thrived in it. I embody it. So I hosted my first fundraiser and I've got, some of my friends from the gym and everything. They show up and I think we end up raising over $5,000 for my first year with Tap Cancer Out. And it's just because I had this incredible community of support and team members and they brought their families and, Colin's friends came. They heard about it and some of my competitor friends came because they heard about it, and some people I've worked with before heard about it and donated. So there's just this whole community of support. And I was like, Colin had always promised me this family. Like we had plans to be married. The night before he passed away, we were, lying in bed talking about getting engaged. And he promised this massive family, and I got that. I have this whole world of people that loved him, and I stepped in, and they just welcomed me. And then I made my own spot. So for a while I was, that's Casey. That's Colin's girlfriend. That's the cancer survivor. And now it's, that's Casey. That's chaos. Like this is her home. So it's cool to have like made my space there. So I go into, that was end of 2024. I've now worked with Tap Cancer Out a little bit on just fundraising on my own. I've now competed with AGF a few times. I think at the end of 2024, I do 4 tournaments back to back to back, and I clear every single bracket. I was having fun. I was smashing people. I was trying out funky moves, and it was just a good time. And then at my first Tap Cancer Out fundraiser, he gives me my blue belt. My Colin's black belt, Gabe, gives me my blue belt. And it was just so emotional and so important to get that at that gym, at that time, at that event. And it was huge. And I don't think any belt promotion will top that one other than my purple one.
So that purple belt's going to be a big
that
deal.
purple one, but that purple one's also going to be bittersweet because it's going to be like this. Yeah, I made it, but that was the whole goal. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the goal is black belt, but the goal has always been purple belt. And every single podcast has talked about belts and how stripes.
I ain't getting drug into that one. You can talk it with Cole
It
this time. I ain't fucking doing
my
it.
point of view on it is it's not about the belt, but for me, it's about the belt. But it has turned into every single other process and every single other part of the journey to get there. So it really, in the end, even though it was about the belt, it was never about the belt.
Yep.
Right.
You fell in love with the game.
Fell in love with the game.
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu is such a special thing.
It turned my passion into a purpose, because now I get to work with Tap Cancer Out. Now I get to go share my story. I have a buddy in Republic that got a Hodgkin's lymphoma diagnosis, and we met at an AGF event, and I'm with Chatty Cathy, and I just started yapping about my cancer. And he came up to me a few weeks ago, and he's like, hey, I got my diagnosis. Same cancer. And I'm like, whoa. And he's like, yeah. So how can I work with Tap Cancer Out? And I'm like, let's go. Let's do it. Me just talking. So my coach at one point saying, you talk too much? I don't think I talk near enough.
Yeah.
I talk all the time, and it's still not enough if I want to advocate the way I want to for all these cancer survivors and stuff that we do Tap Cancer Out events for. So every time I go work an AGF event, every time I go cross train, every time I go on the mats is a chance for me to just make progress in my journey of one day tapping cancer out, but also just connecting with people and getting that life back that I missed for 2 years.
So you do cross train a lot.
I do. Not as much as I'd like to. I travel to Springfield Fight Club at least once a week just because that is my home gym. I've been training more with A-Force. I went up to Republic recently. I try to bring in some girls now that we have the women's open mat. That's been helpful to get just ladies. We've got Arkansas, Oklahoma, Aurora, and Republic have brought in. Like we've had ladies from all over. So since I can't cross train as much traveling because I'm always on the go, I'm trying to bring the cross training here a little bit for the ladies. So that's helped quite a bit.
That's great. Boys, interject.
I'm still processing.
Jesus.
Yeah,
This is the
there's a
whole
lot.
reason that we
Like
invite
it's
you,
big.
Colton.
So
I didn't do that in a very organized fashion either. So it was just a
well,
lot thrown
so
at
we
you.
skipped over. Like I mean, we went from
I feel like she's trying to wrap this thing up and be done, but she doesn't know we've got to.
we went
I'm
from
not. I thought you were trying to.
No,
yeah. That's what I thought too.
no,
So
So
we
I was
went
like, I'll
from
start wrapping it up.
no.
we kind of went from the Casey Lee dude
Oh yeah.
wheeling you to surgery to getting your port out,
Yeah.
and we skipped over some pretty significant, like
Oh, yeah,
basically
like-
all of
like
your treatment,
Chemo. Yeah.
chemo, losing Colin.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
That was
you go there as deep as you want to go there. Obviously, that's going to be tragic to talk about. But also, that dude deserves his flowers in this conversation.
And
But-
honestly,
Yep.
I would have done myself a disservice and him a disservice had I not talked a little bit more about that. But it was more of also protecting you guys from me crying.
So I did want to ask, and
I'm ready to cry. So
it's not an.
I came
it's-
prepared.
no questions are off the table.
So-
I will answer anything.
How did you navigate that? Because like if we're being vulnerable right now, like it seems like you found somebody that you were going to spend the rest of your life with, and is somebody that has a broken picker and wants to find somebody to spend their life with. My biggest fear is finding somebody and then they pass away.
Hey,
So
same.
how did you navigate that?
I feel like it means a lot more when she says, "Hey, same."
Yeah, yeah. Like,
Jesus.
what
That is
was
honestly still
that?
my biggest fear.
What is that? What was that process like for you? Did you have time to process like what was going on?
You were in survival mode.
Exactly.
So
I honestly think that if there was there's never a good time for somebody to get like brutally shot in the middle of a workday and die, right?
no.
Some punk kid just walked down to a store, wanted to steal a gun, called about. He's like, hey, what are you doing? He came
Was
in
this at their old store before they moved to the new one, or was it at the new store
No, this was at their current store,
where they are now? Okay.
Anchor Tactical.
Yeah, I know. Well, so they used to be on Sunshine, and now they've moved kind of across
Campbell.
from. Yeah,
Yeah, across from Bass Pro. Yep.
yeah.
it
So they
was at
moved
that
from
Campbell
here to
location.
there. Yeah.
Without going into too many details, because I didn't really go over how he died. Kid came in the store the night before, picked up gun off the counter while he was out at a food truck. Somebody else was in the store, supposed to be watching, handling the gun. That person turned around, kid pocketed the gun, walked out. Colin comes back and goes, bro, what? And then did the whole police report, came home late, got in a massive argument. He's like, it was just high emotion, stuff like that. He goes in the next morning, somebody calls in, and then somebody no call, no shows. So Colin's now in the store by himself. Same kid from the night before comes in with another kid. Colin calls him out. He's like, I've got you on tape. All of this stuff. Escorts them out and follows them out. Kid turns around, fires 7 shots, hits him twice. So dies basically on the scene. I don't know about it because I am. Okay, so I got my port put in, had my first chemo in the hospital. I got sent home 4 days home. I'm home for 4 days. We do 4th of July, which is it's 3 years to the day of when I met him, basically. So we're celebrating like, hey, all this stuff. We spend 4th of July with his family. 2 days later, I'm in a virtual checkup appointment on a Wednesday morning. And I'm like, okay, I feel pretty good after chemo. Colin said it takes about 7 days to hit because his dad went through it. I'm on day 6. I feel good for day 6. I'm just really tired. Check-in appointment went well. I'm going to text Colin and let him know I'm doing good after the appointment. And he's like, man, I hate this place. I just want to walk out. So I said, do it. And there were a lot of issues building up with Anchor. He absolutely hated that place. That place took too much of his time. And I hate that was where he died. I hate that he died, but of all places. And I said, do it. I said, walk out, do it. And I started typing another message and I fall asleep. So I wake up to someone pounding on my door about an hour and a half after I fall asleep. And I'm like, what the heck? So I live in Colin's house. Colin's not home. I'm a cancer patient currently. I can't do crap for a home invasion. I'm not even like barely dressed. So I don't want to go open the door. So I'd let it. Okay. They're relentless. Okay. So I throw my robe on, I look out the window, and it's Colin's brother's roommate / sister-in-law, soon-to-be sister-in-law. They get married that weekend.
Gotcha.
So big weekend, big week. She's pounding on the door. I open it up, and she goes, Colin's been shot. Okay, panic. And I grab a shirt from the couch. And it's important what shirt that is, but it's not important because it's literally just a shirt. Grab the shirt, grab some clothes. Okay, get in the car. And I'm like panicking. She's like, he's in room 5. He's in room 5. They're working on him in room 5. We're going to go to the hospital right now. And we're like probably 10 minutes away. The first five minutes of the car ride, I'm just obviously like freaking out. Freaking, like absolute breakdown. And then I realize her daughter is in the back of the car. Her daughter is 10, 11. So it's like instant aunt mode. Hey, those are really cute shorts.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Get to the hospital. We pull up into the emergency room, parking lot, go in the doors, and they kind of point us down a hallway because she hasn't come in this way yet. She's already been here once, but she came in a different way. So she literally left because I have 37 missed calls on my phone. And also that message I never typed that said, come home to me. So we walk into the hallway, and his uncle is standing there just shaking his head at us. And everything crashes down because I know he's gone. And it's like the world lost color. It lost sound. It lost everything. And I just slumped on the wall. And I said, I'm not fighting this cancer. I'm not doing this. Absolutely not. This is ridiculous. This is vulnerable. I just prayed to God the night before, or the week before, that this cancer be something I could deal with. That before I got this diagnosis, that this be something I could handle. And then Colin dies a week to the day of my diagnosis. And I give up in the hospital right then and there. They want me to have a mask on because I'm in active chemo. And I'm now in an emergency room with tons of sick people and tons of COVID patients. Mm-hmm. And all of his family is there dealing, processing, trying to process, not even starting to process really. And somebody's worrying about me wearing a mask.
Yeah. And
I lose my shit. Not at them. I never got angry with anybody that didn't deserve it. I just walked in a room and I just took everything off, and I think they lost me for a little bit. But I just couldn't deal with anything. So then I went outside, got some fresh air. I said, I'm going to go outside. And I thought about just walking home. I didn't want to be there. But I couldn't get myself to leave him. So then I text one of Colin's best friends' wives, who is the owner of Fight Club. They co-own Fight Club with another couple. I text one of the guy's wives because it was his best friend. And I just say, hey, because I have people messaging me. He's got buddies on the police force. He's got buddies everywhere. He's a law enforcement guy. Like he's got a big community of people. And I've got people messaging me. Hey, there was a shooting. Hey, is Colin okay? No. So I only told 2 people, and it was his best friend and his best friend's wife. And 2 different best friends. One was his high school best friend. One was Gabe. I told Gabe's wife, and that was so hard. I sent her a text, sent her a message, Facebook, said he's gone. He didn't make it. And it was like I couldn't say the words, he died. So it was always just, he's gone. So it took me like 2 weeks before I could say he died. So I texted my best friend that day from St. Louis, and I said, he's gone. And she goes, I'm going to beat the shit out of him. Like, she thought he dipped out. Like, she thought he left. She was ready to full force, like, whammy on this guy. She's like, I can't believe he just dipped out on you. He was just talking about marriage, all this stuff. And I said, no, he's gone. And she goes, wait, what? And she had to call me. And I couldn't say anything. And she goes, oh, my God, what? And that's how hard it was just, like, say those words. So then we all meet up. We leave. I get to see him. And it's not him. And then we leave. And they leave me alone at my house, Colin's house. It's not my house. They leave me alone. But they weren't going to. His sister-in-law and her daughter stayed with me for a few minutes. And I said, no, I'll be okay. Absolutely was not. That was a full, bold-faced lie. And I wanted them to leave me alone. So I could do anything I needed to do before people came over. Not like kill myself, but just, I don't know. Be
Just
in
let it
private.
out.
Yeah. So I let out the most feral scream ever. And my dog comes running to me. And I'm like, shit. Now I have a dog. I have always had a dog, but I forgot about my dog when I was in the hospital. And I said, I'm not fighting this. And then in my moment of need, this cute little brown-eyed, 4-legged creature just comes up to me. I say little, he's 80 pounds. And he just smothers me with love. Literally, he does this thing where he'll put his neck over your face and just like smother you. And when you're crying, it's disgusting because you've got like tears and snot running down your face. But like also, that is exactly what I needed. And I was like, I have a dog I have to live for. Crap. So my dog saved my life that day because I was like, I have to fight cancer. Because my dog waited at the door for 2 weeks. And when Colin's car pulled up in the driveway, my dog got so excited. And it was not him. And I was like, I can't do that to my dog. My dog can't just have both people disappear.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how like the little things. If anybody's ever contemplating suicide or anything like that, I suggest getting something to care for. Because it makes it just slightly harder when you have somebody else that depends on you too. So that's just a little pro tip. I've got a whole list of ways on how to be human and things like that. And I've never been close enough to like need it. But I do think that I have some really close experiences that if anybody ever needs something like that, just reach out because it's not worth it. There's always somebody that needs you.
Yeah.
So I see my dog and we snuggle until my mom gets there. And my best friend that had just called me and said, I'm going to beat the crap out of it. She showed up from St. Louis and she spent the next week with me on the couch. And my mom and my friend and I all sat on our laptops because I couldn't not think. I couldn't just sit there and like exist. I had to be busy. So I worked through it and then I went to chemo. And then 2 weeks later, I went to chemo again.
So you're like 7 to 10 days into cancer diagnosis, your first, and getting ready to start your second round of chemo, all the while burying a guy that you're planning to marry.
Yeah. Yep. So my first chemo treatment in the actual chemo center, they have a little note next to my chair. And it says, second treatment, first in center, boyfriend died. Like, I appreciate the heads up that they were giving for the extra, like, but also give a little bit of tact to maybe hide the note.
Yeah.
Maybe not put it right there. So even in a cancer center, this is
like
crazy.
Write it
I
on your
felt
chart
out of
so
place.
they never see it. Yeah.
I felt like the person people were like feeling bad for in a chemo center. Don't pity me in a chemo center. Like, there are so many people in here that are like also struggling.
Yeah, but
Also, like I get it.
You,
I get
you
it.
all have cancer.
We do. But also, I don't want to feel special. I don't want to feel like I've got extra eyes on me. I want the least amount of attention drawn to that as possible because I just want it to not exist, right? The chemo ladies were absolutely so wonderful. I looked forward to chemo. I had such a good time. That sounds crazy. Chemo didn't hit me the way it hit Ian. I think of my 12 treatments.
Ian's kind of a puss, though.
No, that shit's... Oh.
Just make him feel bad. It's fine.
Yeah. He grabbed my leg the other day for a leg lock, and he's like, before I even do anything, and I said, dude, my knee is about to snap. My legs are toothpicks compared to you. Please be gentle. He's such a good guy to train with, though, because he does know that he's like just absolutely huge compared to everybody.
Yeah, he's gigantic.
Gigantic. I've never like rolled with him, and when he grabbed my leg for that heel hook, I saw it, and I was just like, what? My legs look long compared to like a lot of people I roll with. And I just looked at him, and they looked like a doll. Like, they looked like a toy in his arms. And I'm like, what the heck? It was kind of scary. But chemo, it didn't really affect me the way it would affect most people. And I got very lucky. I say I'm lucky all the time. And that's a weird thing. I felt weird saying that at first. But chemo didn't hit me. I lost my hair. My eyebrows grew back during chemo. So that was cool to have a face again and not look like a scary monster sometimes. I stopped itching. I gained weight back. I lost my hair. But honestly, I had zero symptoms other than like an upset belly the day of chemo. But I also would eat Chipotle and Einstein bagels and whatever else I could get my hands on for chemo. So like I can't really blame the upset stomach on just chemo because
So you were gaining weight during chemo?
Literally went from 108 pounds to 155 by the end of chemo. I threw up 2 times during chemo, and neither of them were from chemo. They were both from drinking too much and being hungover. Because I was surviving my boyfriend dying. My doctor said, I don't know what you're doing, keep it up. And what she didn't know is that almost every other weekend after they'd go check my blood levels and stuff, the next week, on my off week from chemo, I would be out probably downtown Springfield shooting shots with my friends and just running around being a hooligan.
I feel like that's off protocol whenever you're on chemo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think they recommend that.
No, they absolutely don't. Had they known what I was doing, they would have been like, stop that shit right now. What are you thinking? But they were like, whatever you're doing, keep it up. And I would just be quiet about it.
But when they weighed it probably against your mental health of like, well,
That's
will the
my
girl
thing.
show back up in 2 weeks or she won't? Probably worth her doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, no, drinking during chemo, bad for your body.
It's literally in the flyer they give you.
Yeah. So, whatever. I'm alive. I'm here to tell the story. And they were like, whatever you're doing, you literally are surviving better than we did not expect this complete of a recovery. Like, you were in the doghouse. Like, you were bad. You were about to die. And we don't know what changed. And I was like, I'm
Like Jaeger bombs.
gonna be honest. I shotgunned a Twisted Tea tall boy, and that was the end of a night one time. That was the one time I threw up from drinking. But if you start a night out with a Twisted Tea tall boy, it's gonna be
gonna be a bad night.
It's gonna be a night one way or the other. I'm gonna tell you that. They would tell me one drink, and I made that my one drink, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna really make it a
good
one.
So I went. We're no longer connected, and that it's hard because I had these people I was really close to at the time. The one I called the day of, her bachelorette party was literally the weekend of chemo. And I was like, well, I'm in Joplin and it's in Tennessee. So if I drive through for chemo, I can just drive straight through to go to the bachelorette party that weekend. So I went from chemo straight to Tennessee for a bachelorette party, and my nurses knew, and they were like, we know what you're going through. We can't tell you not to drink, but we can tell you one is probably for the best. But here's some yak bags and some little hand sanitizer pockets and stuff that you're going to need if you're going to go into a big city and go party because you have a weak immune system. So they took care of me, all this stuff. I go and I have one drink on the party bus.
Yeah.
And I am stumbling off the party bus because I am on chemo and I have not drank in a year and a half. And I'm like, man, that was a really good time. And then I just casually one drink turned into more the next weekend because I felt good. And then I gained some weight, and then my doctors never really said anything, and I was checking my kidney levels and stuff, and they were checking it with chemo, and they literally never had a flag. So I was like, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And now...
She's developed her own protocol for chemo.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun. And that's so crazy, because I was literally like in the most miserable mind space of my life, and I had a lot of fun. And that was just, I think that's what it took.
Yeah.
Yeah. So... 6 months of every 2 weeks, I'd go to chemo. I'd go out party the other weekend. Sometimes steroids would keep me up for like 36 hours and I'd have a really good weekend. Sometimes I'd just be in the dumps for 2 days because I was like, man, life sucks. It was just a lot of back and forth. It was a lot of 6 months of, I got to get through this 6 months, and then I can start, basically like in 6 months, my life can start again. And even then it was in 6 months, my life, I can restart again, but I still don't have anything. I don't have a house anymore. I don't have a fiance anymore, or soon to be fiance anymore. I have a job, but I don't have a place to live near my job. I don't have friends because I've been isolated for 2 years. So I had to like restart everything. So I started this convenient 5-year plan. When I was in the trenches and everything, Colin was like, where do you want to be in 5 years? Because this is not where I see ourselves. I don't want to see ourselves fighting over your health in 5 years. I won't be here in 5 years. And he meant like, I don't want to be around for that. I'm going to leave. Mm-hmm. He was not here. So I had to figure out my 5-year plan alone. And that was, how can I set myself up mentally, physically, financially, educationally, like just full total wellness for that 5 years when they're like, hey, you're completely cancer free. So I kind of coined that my journey to purple, and it kind of just embodies feeling like I can restart my life. When you get that cancer diagnosis and they're like, hey, you have a survival rate. Survival rates are scary. I don't want to think about it. Nobody wants to think about it. So I don't have a future. I always said I don't have a future past that 5 years. I don't see anything past that 5 years. I will have a future past that if I get out of this cancer watch. But I currently do not have a future past that 5 years. But I'm going to do everything in my power for that 5 years to set myself up well. And I had random goals like get a purple belt, start running again, re-certify as a certified personal trainer, because that's what I went to school for in Springfield. I never finished the certification because I got cancer and I lost the physical aspects of my training. So my brain knows the information of personal training, but my body is now relearning it. So it's recertify in that, pay off debt, just feel like I can be a person again and like restart a life. If somebody wants to, start a relationship with me in 5 years, because at that point I was not thinking anything about relationships, but it was, if I ever want a life, I need to do certain steps to get myself back to where I was. And I am now 3.5, almost 4 years into that, and everything is working out. And that's really weird to say because it's just been day by day. It's been, okay, this tournament here, pay off this debt because I worked this tournament, okay. Well, I've now accomplished my blue belt. I'm a 2-stripe blue belt, so I'm working on my purple belt. I'm less than $10,000 away from paying off all my medical and basically moving debt, which is crazy because I had like $250,000, not total, but like chemo itself was $250,000 with insurance and everything. And I only had a small portion of that. But I could have had a whole freaking house in debt. Mm-hmm. And I'm almost paid off. I'll be paid off with it by the end of the year. So it's just like resetting myself. So by the end of my 5-year watch next December of 2027, I'm hoping to be back in Springfield, settled. I am officially a certified personal trainer as of February, working on some additional certifications for that. I'm coaching a class at Springfield Fight Club on Tuesday night, fundamentals, for my coach. He's out for the week, so I'm going to step in. I'm helping coach kids class at A-Force. I've got a women's program going at A-Force. It's just everything's falling into place finally, and life's good again.
But don't you think it's the way that it should be done? So a lot of times people look at something big, your 5-year plan, mm-hmm. and it's overwhelming to think I have whatever $250,000 or whatever it is in debt, plus I got to do this, plus I got to do this, just to get back to zero, mm-hmm. right? Because cancer day was 0 day mm-hmm. for you. So you're like, I got to do all this other shit to get me back to 0. Mm-hmm. And then I'm behind the 8 ball because really you're 5 years behind your peers.
Yeah.
So that could be very daunting and overwhelming. Mm-hmm. But instead you're just like I'd eat an elephant one bite at a time. Today's problem. It's tomorrow's problem. It's today's problem. Let's attack it.
Habit stacking day by day, breaking it into chunks. It's just, you're going to get it's either 5 years have passed and you're going to be there, or 5 years have passed and you haven't done anything to get to your goals. So you can make that conscious choice every single day to, be lazy. And, for the last 2.5 years, I haven't really taken my goals that seriously. Like some of them I absolutely have. Jiu-Jitsu, I have full force thrown myself into that. Okay, what about the mobility? What about the lifting? What about the recovery? What about the nutrition? What about the everything else on top of that? 2.5 years was just Jiu-Jitsu. And it was okay for that because it brought me back. And now I'm focusing on Drew's asking me to teach him some mobility stuff. I don't really want to personal train clientele yet because I'm not comfortable with it, but I have a buddy I am working out with and she's not experienced with the gym. So I'm personal training someone, okay? And now I'm coaching classes. Like, it literally is just when you put yourself in those situations, people will start to notice that you're capable of doing them. I think I want to put capable on this side. That was always, if I don't do the upside down chaos, I want to put capable. And that's not as cool when it slides up under your chin when you're getting strangled. But like every single day I've just been like, I am capable of doing it if I try.
Yeah.
So just breaking it up and trying was the hard part. Showing up. Colton, you said you showed up.
Yeah.
Dude, most days that's the hardest part is just showing up.
Yeah.
100%.
You've taken something that would
Ruin.
Oh, yeah, I had to wreck a lesser person.
Just
if
And not that I'm trying to prop you up to be something special here, but you really have taken a shit sandwich and kind of turned it into something.
dude, like if you just took what you're doing, you know, like your 5-year goal of, you know, paying off some debt, like never mind what it's about, and wanting to get your personal training certifications up to date, and like just the trajectory, get your purple belt, like all of these things. And those were just goals that you had. Never mind the fact that you were a cancer survivor that lost your boyfriend a week after the cancer diagnosis and all of that. It would be like, that's cool. Like, you're young, you know, you're not 30 years old and you're accomplishing some things. And that's all. That's like, it's good goals. But then you couple it with the fact that you are a cancer survivor that lost your boyfriend tragically a week after your diagnosis. That would have put a lot of people on the couch, and they'd have just been
Or
like,
just
fuck
given
it. They
up
just
and
give
just,
up.
yeah.
yeah,
They just give
checked
up.
out.
And you've taken,
That's normally the story we hear when there's someone with a needle in their arm. You're like, man, how did you end up here? Right? Like if we go out and we talk to people, like that was one of my favorite things to do when I was on the road, or even now.
hear their
is-
stories.
Yeah. Because they've dealt with a bunch of turd cops who just look at them as like some piece of shit that they're arresting and whatever. I love to hear people's stories, which probably plays into why I thoroughly enjoy doing this. But your story is 95% of people out there on the street story of, I just ended up with 1, 2, 3 bad circumstances all piling up in minutes, hours, days, months, years, and it led me to shove a needle in my arm, and here I am.
That very well could have been and might have been something that happened. This shit was rough, dude.
Yeah.
Had I not had an outlet, had I not had that goal of Fight Club, of that promise, then I don't know. I genuinely do not know where I would have ended up, because Fight Club got me literally physically healthy again. And it got me out the door. It got me to shower. Like, I hated showering during cancer because my skin burned.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you went and rolled on the mats. Get your ass in a shower. Okay, I've got to go shower because I trained. It literally just gave me a reason to be human again, to like get ready to leave the house. And it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to go strangle people with your shins to feel good. You don't have to go, wrestle your friends and try to maim each other. It could be go take a hike, go write a book, go listen to some music. There's always something that can kind of drag you out, but you have to have that outlet. If you don't have that outlet, you are going to end up somewhere else.
Yeah.
And not everybody has that outlet. So I think if you find your outlet before you need it, it's really important. I didn't find that outlet, but I found somebody that did. And I've always kind of wanted to do karate as a kid. Always kind of been into it. And before Colin and I like really got together, he had talked about jiu-jitsu, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of interested in that. And then I was just too sick to ever like dive into it. So find a hobby that you just like brings you passion. And I think it can bring you out of some deep shit. Or people. People are important too. The people that were there are honestly the biggest part of it. That gym brought me out of deep shit. I would cry on the mat sometimes, and they would just be like, no, we get it. This is your home too. So
I think the point I was making is like, compare Casey 2026 to Casey 2019.
Oh, I do that way too much. Casey 2019 had no drive.
Right. I think that's my point. Like,
Yeah.
and you're doing it on the heels of stuff that would, like he said,
Wreck
like
most
completely
people.
wreck most people. And you came out of a horrible situation better. Not just stronger, better, more directed, more focused, like more goal oriented. Like,
I think that's why I say I'm lucky, because I literally experienced death from 2 perspectives,
yeah,
back to back.
yeah.
I had nothing to show for my life. Nothing. Like, I don't even feel like a decent person. Like, I wasn't a terrible person, but I was a college kid that would go out and get drunk at the bar every couple weekends and just, goof off and spend too much money and not have priorities and not have family focus and not make the trip home that I said I was going to make and stuff like that. So it just changed priorities. Almost dying and then losing the closest person to you shifts your focus and makes you care more about the little things, about the, random connections, the family dinners, the Matt's sister that absolutely loves watching your moves. And you're like, okay, let's just go get a roll in and stuff like that. I just appreciate the little moments of stuff, and it makes me want to have more of them. And I can't do that sitting on the couch. I can't. I'm just now starting to get back into the dating world. Oh my God. It's disgusting.
It's a shit show.
It is so nasty. It's so exhausting. And
Could
it's so,
I tell you some
Oh,
stories?
yeah. I'll just leave you guys here. I'll come back in a couple hours. You can just reminisce.
It's the worst.
On episode 2.
It's literally the worst. And it's like, that's so weird for me to talk about because I haven't dated at all since Colin.
I genuinely believe after and I don't know you. I don't know you. You will be a better girlfriend, wife, whatever it is.
Oh, absolutely.
Than you even than you would have been for Colin.
Oh, absolutely.
After having gone through what you've gone through, you're better and more prepared for that commitment.
Your guys' eyes look a little too dry, so I'm going to drop one more little thing.
Let's just
God.
fuck up my night some more. Good God.
So I believe that because the night before, the first robbery happened. Colin comes home late. I'm still on the couch working. I say still because I slept most of the day, and then I felt guilty, and then I ran to the couch right before he got home and acted like I was really busy because I felt like I had to be productive and I had to be doing things. And he comes home
6 days on your
because I feel
first
like
chemo.
I was letting people down, not like being healthy. I got to hold myself together. So I run to the couch and I start working, and he comes in the door, and I'm like, oh, hey, babe, let me finish this up real quick. And I no more than go to sit my laptop. And he goes, I just want you to be at the door waiting for me. So when I texted him the next morning and it didn't go through and I said, come home to me, I'm waiting for you. It's like, I am going to be such a much, much better partner because I didn't realize how much just being present for someone would make their day. He's like, I just had a bad day and I just want my girlfriend to run into my arms and hug me. And I was like, oh shit, that's all I wanted to do. But I didn't know. I thought I needed to be more put together, more handling this. So, yeah, that was a hard one when I saw that text still. But I do appreciate things more, and I think I'm gonna just I'm obviously gonna have, my issues still. I haven't dated in 4 years. So it's gonna be a learning process, and I'm still dipping my toe back into the figuring out I have feelings for people again, because that's a whole different thing. Do I actually like them, or is it just a new thing? So I'm navigating that all again. But when I get to the point where I'm ready to be in a relationship again, I'm really excited to see the growth. But I'm also really nervous because it is it's not him.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's all completely fair, but.
And that's tough. It'll take a special guy that can deal with that.
Whoever it is has shoes to fill.
It's a high bar. High bar.
Because if I look back at I had a couple friends that have died, and then they were one was engaged and the other one was married. What those guys have to live up to is, what that guy was plus what they expect and what they need to change, and then you look even more like a buddy that dies in the line of duty. What does that next guy have to live up to? Your guy gets shot saving a store. What does he have to live up to?
He was one of the most genuine, friendly, badass people I ever met, and the next guy is gonna have a lot. But it's also he's got to understand that there's always gonna be that part of me.
Yeah, but it takes a special person
to understand that.
Somebody's
going to have to be willing to walk through those memories with you.
And if they don't, then they're not the right person.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if they're oh, you're still upset over that? Okay, well, bye.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a part of me that has that.
Yeah, that's an awkward thing for everybody. I mean, it's a difficult thing. Not necessarily awkward. It's awkward. No. It would be awkward, but you're difficult for them.
Find someone who is confident in themselves. Because that would be a tough thing to do.
Yes. Yeah.
I know that we're not giving you any hope. I'm really sorry.
No,
That's so
I
weird.
honestly, I had very little. I know that at some point, if the right person walks into my life, it'll happen. I'm not pushing for it. I'm not like actively seeking it out, but I'm not like turning it down. I think for the first few years, I was obviously turning it down.
Run away
because-
from it. Yeah.
Yeah, but also I don't want to. I'm still in my 5-year plan. What if my
Yeah.
cancer comes back?
Right.
I don't want to. I do not ever want to put someone through that again.
Right.
Unless there's a ring on this finger, because that is a marriage vow.
Yeah.
Some guy that had me move in 5 months in because I had some health issues, didn't fully expect. Yes, we fell in love. Like, we were already kind of in love from the time before, and he kind of had a plan for his life and wanted me to be a part of it, but he hadn't agreed to that yet. He hadn't agreed to deal with cancer.
Yeah.
And he's like, this isn't fair. My dad had cancer. Now my girlfriend does. So I didn't want to like put somebody else through that. But as the end is nearing of the cancer watch, it feels a little less scary to like brave that.
I want to know about the shirt that isn't important, but it was important.
Oh, it was a Fight Club shirt. He had just gotten it, and it was too small for him, and he just threw it on the couch. Thank you.
That checks.
It checks. Yeah.
I mean, you've made me cry like 4 times, so I don't know.
I made myself cry the same amount.
I'll cry in the car. It's fine.
Yeah.
For a while, when I would show up to Fight Club, people would be like, Casey, are you high or have you been crying? And I was like, does it matter?
Can both things be true?
Most of the time, yeah, it was. It was both. I was probably typically a song came on the radio before I was like on the way to Fight Club or something. And then when I got to Fight Club, I was like, well, that sucked. Now I'm crying right before class.
Yeah.
How do I fix that? Make it look a little less obvious. Just make it look like you're a little high.
Yeah. Smoke a little bit and then roll in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not like 90% of the other jiu-jitsu practitioners don't. So
100%.
I didn't realize how big of a community stoners were in jiu-jitsu. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we have a
It's a
certain
lot.
somebody at the gym that has some rather delayed responses when it comes to people asking, like,
That's fine.
everybody get it? About 30 seconds later, yeah. All right.
Takes all kinds.
I didn't do
Never.
it very often, but every now and then when I would go in after smoking, it felt like my coach knew, and he would always ask me to be uki, and I was like, "This is punishment," and he's like, "No, you're just tall," and I'm just tall.
You're like, I just can't keep
And
up,
I'm
man.
like, "No, I was just paranoid as heck. You were choosing me because I was a little high. I don't do that anymore because that was scary." And he's like, "Oh, okay." But all in all, the journey was freaking tough, but I am a better person because of it, and I have a lot of really cool friends and a really cool experience and a really cool story to tell that will also help people. Like, I get a fundraise for Tap Cancer Out almost on a daily basis. I don't do enough of that because I am so busy working with AGF, but I'm building a career of jiu-jitsu and helping people and turning my passion into that purpose and just like turning the chaos into something I can live with.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Like I told you, I don't. Your time is our time. Like, as much as you're willing to tell us, we're here for it. So
Tap Cancer Out, I did that first fundraiser. The next year I did, I think, about $4,000 for my next fundraiser, and then they invited me to Chicago. I tried to actually do one of their Tulsa tournaments and then one of their Tennessee tournaments, and they had such low registration because they're not familiar with the area. They scheduled it, I think, on the same weekend as an AGF in Oklahoma, which AGF just dominates that area. Yeah. So there was no I was one of the two, and the other one was my buddy from Fight Club. So they were like, we're canceling that tournament. We're also canceling the Tennessee one. Both of the ones you've signed up for, can we bring you to Chicago? We will not be canceling that one. So I go and I volunteer for that tournament and I get to compete there. So I bring up my coach, some of my friends, my Matt sister whose father had cancer. Like, I get to share these experiences with somebody that is going through some things that I was going through at her age, and I didn't have an outlet like Fight Club. So I'm giving her that outlet, and I'm also just getting to like experience this with like a little sister I never had. So it's really cool for me. So I go up and I work for this event and I have a great time. And my goal is at some point to be a Tap Cancer Out ambassador, and I'm grandfathered into that program now. So as soon as I open that back up, I am a Tap Cancer Out ambassador. I've traveled to California with them, Baltimore with them this year. They fly me out. I volunteer for the tournament. I get to compete. I get to go share my story on a stage that I'd never get to before. I've traveled like four or five states before this, and now I've gone coast to coast tapping cancer out this year, just in a 3-month span.
That's really cool.
And it's a really cool thing. My goal is at some point probably to go across country, whether it be for AGF or to another country and compete there. I kind of want to go worldwide. Goal is to train or compete in all 50 states and hopefully do that while supporting Tap Cancer Out and just sharing my story along the way. I want to be a published author one day. Part of the 5-year journey is I've started writing that book because I am a big nerd and I love reading. So turning this story into a way to just process it, I think writing it down will help. I don't talk about the Colin aspect of things very often. I make comments here and there like, oh, Colin like this, or, oh, we used to do that, but it's not like processing it. I processed the cancer. Like I processed that a lot for the last 4 years, but processing Colin was a little bit different.
Well, and your cancer had to take priority because you had to survive.
Yeah.
And
I
it
was
was
getting ready to-
it was there.
It was there.
It's easier to deal with.
Put something else on the back burner
Right.
because I have to show up for this today.
Yeah.
I have a doctor appointment every other week right now. So yeah.
Deal with the funeral and stuff when you have to, and then yeah.
Yep. So, writing it all down, I think, is going to be the biggest way to process all of that. And I kind of want to just coin it like life after C. I officially got my website purchased this weekend, so I can start like just blog posting and stuff, and just kind of pulling all of this stuff together because I have so many goals that it's hard to kind of connect them sometimes. But I want to be a published author and a professional athlete. And I'm a professional athlete now. I can say that. I went from cancer survivor to undefeated fight to win match. Like, I do such cool things, and it's just because I just kept showing up for myself. So if I just keep showing up for myself, I can write a book and I can tell everybody my story in a little bit less of a cry, tear-filled way, and maybe just leave that with you guys. And I don't have to cry as much once it's all written down.
Yeah.
Just leave that to all the readers to bawl their eyes out in the comfort of their own homes and then be like, man, that was so good. And I didn't have to cry in front of anybody. So
Yeah, you cry once and get it out, and then everybody else gets to cry reading it.
Exactly. And I think like Ian didn't like to talk about it and processing it. And I'm bringing him up a lot because I like resonated so much listening to his story. And he's sitting here saying, I'm so confident talking about it. And I'm like, but you helped me. So I think just getting out there and processing it and talking about it more helped. Even like this helped me with processing the Colin stuff because 4 years later, I'm still going through that. My body knows. My body remembers. So
Yeah. We can see your hand shaking, and
oh, I can feel
Yeah.
it the whole time. I've been like shivering.
yeah.
I was watching
I'm
your
hot.
abdomen, like your stomach when you were talking.
Just-
you weren't crying anymore, but it was like quivering.
Just because I'm just holding it.
Yeah. You can let it out.
Oh, yeah.
Ba-
Oh, if
baby's
I like,
sleeping on that part of the
if
house.
I
so
actively start crying though, I won't stop. And like,
you're just trying to hit that shutdown mode.
yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah. So, like, it's not like unhealthy to cry, and I fully do that. Like my therapist. So my therapist quit the day I got my potential second diagnosis. She was like, "Oh, by the way, you're my last patient. I hate telling you this," and we hadn't caught up in a couple weeks. And she's like, "I hate telling you this, but you know, update me before I give you my news." And I updated her, and she goes, "That makes this so hard. Today's my last day, and I can't be there for you to go through this potential second diagnosis on the anniversary of Colin's death. Holy cow, I am so sorry. I should have told you earlier." And I was like, well,
God.
that sucks. Thanks for all the help. So she helped me through that, and then she goes basically just says like, I'm cheering you on. You've been my favorite client. You're my success story that I thought would turn into a horror story, if I'm being honest. So you went from being a kind of an interesting client to like my scariest client to I am so proud of this girl. So just keep doing what you're doing. And that was a year in going through a potential second diagnosis. And she's like, I'm already so proud of you. But she asked, you cry, right? Like you don't cry on the phone with me because it was never in person. It was never on the face. She just called me and I just talked to her and she's like, you cry, right? And I was like, all the time. And she goes, okay, I figured you just don't cry to people, right? And I was like, correct. Because like, I don't want to put that on them because it's like sucks to see other people cry about your stuff. So like, yes, it's necessary sometimes, but I do that in the comfort. I'm healthy too.
Okay.
I got nothing.
Buddy, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Girl, you've talked about it a lot. You got notes?
If any women want to experience the joys of jiu-jitsu, there's tons of great opportunities. We have a women's open mat at A-Force in Web City, 1:30 to 2:30 every Sunday, but there's also Springfield Fight Club has women's classes on Saturdays for kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. Sure, there's tons of other women's open mats and stuff like that, but if you ever want to join jiu-jitsu, hit up one of the gals. We'd love to get you in the doors. Lots of good things can come from training, even if you don't like rolling and sweaty people touching you. It's not as scary as it seems.
Boy, I'm pretty sure you covered every question that I was going to ask you.
On the 15 billion rabbit trails I took to get to the one story.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
You'd think after telling this story a few times I'd have like a better system, But no, my brain is like, there's so many important details and I can never get them all. I guarantee I'm going to listen to this back tomorrow or next week and be like, yep. Just like you said, there's that one thing that I'm like kicking myself. Oh, but
Great
I think
news.
I did.
You know how to get in touch with us? And
do.
I got a feeling we're going to do this again.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to do another TCO based one
Yeah,
here
we
in a bit.
talked about that in, what was it, November?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be fucking up my deer season.
I had messaged somebody and I said, oh, it was the guy that wants to do the TCO event. And I said, oh, I might be able to get us on a podcast. Hold on. And I hadn't even like fully agreed to do this one yet. And I messaged Matt and I'm like, hey, I got an idea. And he's like, call me. I'm at work bored. And I was like, okay. So I call him up and he's like, yeah, we're in. And I text the guy back and I said, all right, podcast is a go. And he goes, already? I said, yeah. Works
know
fast when I
people.
work from home and I got nothing to do. Just
So what are you doing right now? Because I know you're traveling, you're competing a lot.
most people think I do this full time. I do not. I work full time from home for a credentialing agency for a hospital. So I work 40 hours at a desk sending emails to people, and then my fun job is strangling people with my shins. So it's vastly different worlds. And I'm not like, I'm good at my job, but it's like such a simple entry level job that it's not a career. It is I got it when my symptoms picked up, not realizing what was going on, and it ended up giving me healthcare, and it ended up giving me a work from home job, and it ended up giving me the exact comfort of the home that I needed. And I look at that as like a blessing and a curse because I was isolated, but I was also able to function through cancer with a full-time job. So I do that from home for
It
now.
was the right thing at the right time.
Yeah, I
So
just hit my 5-year mark with that.
So the older I get, the more maybe I have a skewed view on this and I think the baby probably really changed that philosophy for me too. I go to work. I really enjoy what I do. It's super fun. Me 3 years ago, I drove. I was going to be the best. Now I'm like, you're going to get all of me when I'm here. But man, when I leave, I am everything to my wife and my kid and my friends. Mm-hmm. So I think that perspective shift is probably what more people need. Maybe they don't have to go through cancer to get it or anything, but like, do you live to work or do you work just to live? And then you've got your purpose outside of work.
I do. And I didn't before that. And I think that's honestly the coolest thing about having cancer is that it did give me that purpose. Like I said, I had no drive in life. I scooted my way through college with passing grades and didn't like excel. And I excelled in high school. And as soon as I got that taste of freedom and I got that taste of I can go out and I can do whatever I want, and discipline went out the window. No longer had sports, no longer had something like keeping me in. I did intramural soccer and stuff like that, but I chose soccer over going to chemistry lab. Like the maturity wasn't there. I had so much freedom. I'm abusing it. And then 22 rolls around and, I'm graduated college and I'm still going out drinking with the same friends, probably sometimes 3 or 4 nights a week. And I'm like, this is stupid. And my parents got me a dog. My parents got me my dog I currently have, Achilles. And I think it was because they were like, oh, I tried to get a dog when I graduated college. It didn't work out. Things happened. And it just like, I tried to rescue one. The one passed away, all of that stuff. And my parents just got me this dog. And I think they were like, maybe this will settle her down. This is what she needs. And then around that same time, I met Colin. And I was like, oh, okay. Colin and I split up and I just always have this dog. And the dog really did settle me down because I was like, I can't stay out until 2 a.m. when I have a puppy at home that needs to go out.
Yep.
It's not a baby, but it's a baby in a way.
100%.
So I had to grow up a little bit. And then Colin helped me grow up a little bit. I wasn't even lifting and I was going to be a certified personal trainer through school. And then this guy comes into my life that's super fit. And I'm like, wow, he's doing the things that I've been saying I wanted to do. So I started lifting and I was like, I'm not trying to impress him, but I'm like, I'm just motivated. I'm inspired. Like somebody else is doing the things I've been saying I want. So I started doing them. We broke up and I kept up with it. And then COVID hits and everything just goes out the window. And you guys know that story. So it was just like, I don't even know where I rabbit trailed from on
That's
that
all
one.
right. We were talking about what you're doing right now, and you were talking about for work, and I'm saying, so you just competed were you at AGF this last week?
ADCC.
ADCC?
Yes.
Okay.
I was at AGF the last weekend.
I
I'm all
can't
over the
keep
place.
up.
Dude, I can't either. I was supposed to be in Colorado instead of Kansas City, but TCO overstaffed. I picked up another shift instead. I go anywhere they'll let me go. If I have the time, if my mom can watch the dogs, if I'm not doing other things, if I can go, I'm going.
So is that pretty much the events that you're going to is TCO events?
No, I've actually only gone to 3 tap cancer out events. Okay. I do AGF almost every other weekend. They are like, I work for them. I volunteer with Tap Cancer Out and I don't get paid, but they cover travel. So I'm a super volunteer for them. I go and I work the whole tournament. I set up things like that. Same thing I'm doing for AGF, but AGF I get paid and I don't stay typically the whole weekend and stuff like that. It's a little bit different.
Okay.
Non-profit versus for-profit, stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I get paid for AGF and I'm a volunteer for Tap Cancer Out. So I do more AGFs because I am paying off debt, but also because Tap Cancer Out is, they have to, I'm so new to their organization that yes, I can run a tournament because of AGF, but they choose their more senior people first still. But I'm building my whole goal was to work for AGF to one day work for TCO. And I feel like I'm on the track because when they picked me up in California, they said, one day we're going to start paying you for this. We're going to kind of call you a jack of all trades and, hopefully pay you for this if you're okay with that. And I said, oh, I'm doing all this for free. Obviously, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a good time just being here. So, yeah, I'll love to have a job with
So
you guys.
what would a full-time job with him look like?
I don't know if it would be full-time.
Okay.
But they would pay me basically the part-time, like to go travel and stuff like that. So they would do everything they're already doing, plus I would get paid.
That's cool.
And then at some point, if that's my path, then they have a location in North Carolina where you do like day-to-day business stuff for a nonprofit.
Nice.
And they had 3 full-time staff members and now they're working their way up to 5 and everything else kind of runs on volunteers and stuff. They've been around since 2012. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility that in 10 years I could be a Tap Cancer Out employee. So
Awesome.
don't know where my life's going to go, but I'm going to keep working.
Can we put well, she's different. I was going to say, let's put the correlation that people who do jiu-jitsu get cancer, but she went the opposite route.
I had that as a note. Cancer does not cause jiu-jitsu because I had never stepped foot inside a jiu-jitsu gym before I got cancer.
Cancer does not cause jiu-jitsu.
Or jiu-jitsu does not cause cancer. I didn't even notice it. Cancer did cause jiu-jitsu for me, actually. I
Right.
said that incorrectly.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu does not cause cancer. I did have that as a note. One of the few notes I
Didn't
had.
we
that I
talk
forgot
about that
at
on
home.
Ian's podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, yeah.
I think
So
we said
I-
that a couple times.
The only
'cause-
time I took notes for this was during Ian's because I was like, he hit such good spots that I've never thought about hitting on mine. So I was like taking notes and I giggled at that. And I looked at that today and I was like, why did I write that? And I put the note aside and I forgot to bring it with me. And then you just said that and I'm like, that's what that meant.
Yeah, well, I think we talked about it on Ian's
Mm-hmm.
episode that when we kind of started putting it out there to the local jiu-jitsu community, that's been probably our largest portion of our audience getting started, and I've got multiple other people who have been cancer survivors that are wanting to come on, and they're all from the jiu-jitsu community.
Yeah.
Like,
I
makes
do
me
I do remember
suspicious.
that now. I remember why I wrote the note now.
I'm suspicious.
Well,
But if you're going to have it, what a better tribe of people to have around you.
Yeah, for sure.
they literally already get tortured and stuff for funsies.
Yeah.
Cancer is basically torture. So like you go do that for funsies.
Gathered
For
that.
jiu-jitsu, you've got the resilience you need to get through cancer treatment, in my opinion.
Well, I'm so glad to get to meet you and have you here and talk to you. I'm looking forward to doing this again.
So nice to having our first official meeting and it being my entire life story.
Yeah. Hey, no better
It
way
was
to
a
do
doozy.
it. No better way to do it.
It was absolutely a doozy.
Was a doozy.
So I will plug everything in the show notes, but give the highlights of everything that you want to plug because you have like sponsors. Because when you win medals, you pose with things.
Springfield Fight Club and A-Force have both been huge parts of my journey. I just started with A-Force 8 months ago, and they've already helped my game. They've given me a community 15 minutes away instead of an hour and 15 minutes away. So huge shout outs to both of them. If you're in either one of the areas, check those out. Titan Nutrition has given me some supplements and helped me kind of up my game a little bit, my performance. They are looking for people that are not on steroids, and let me tell you, no one has ever accused me of that other than when I was in chemo. So I look absolutely jacked, and it's all natural, by the way, and it's also Titan Nutrition. Darlington Snacks is one of my biggest Have Cancer Out fundraisers. They are my mom's company. My mom works for them, and every single year they've donated over $1,000 and just been a huge part, and they give snacks to the gym and stuff like that. So they've been a huge help in just the amount of fundraising I've been able to do and kind of the awareness about it. Have Cancer Out itself is a great nonprofit. And then there's just me, Life After C, Casey Chaos. I'm a active jiu-jitsu competitor, and I'm always looking for somebody to come compete against or, set up a super fight. So hit me up if you have any information on that.
I literally just saw you. What were you holding? It was like a white can of something.
That
maybe?
was that nutrition stuff.
Titan
Is that
Nutrition.
the Titan stuff?
Glycofuel. It's because I'm a yacker, and I have a hard time finding the right fuel before I go out and compete if it sits too heavy or something. And he walked up to me, my buddy from Fight Club, and he said, "Hey, Parker, I've got these supplements that my daughter uses them for volleyball and stuff like that, and we'd really love to like get some in you because I think it'll help with your comp day fuel and stuff." And I tried them, and didn't eat breakfast that morning and I drank that and I literally did not yak. It was the first tournament in like 3 tournaments I haven't yacked. And I was like, hey, I had the right fuel source and it wasn't like sitting heavy in my stomach. And it's just the adrenaline dump and the lack of cardio I had. But I genuinely just feel like that made me feel better. And I'm not a doctor, so I'm not saying it's going to prevent you from yakking. I'm just saying it helped me and I knew my fuel source. And you got to know your own body, but it helped me a lot. So if you see me looking like a lean beef patty in 6 months, it's because Titan Nutrition's been helping my supplements.
Okay.
Nutrition's huge.
Anything that I missed?
Me? No.
Anybody? Boy, Colton brings so much. You know, it's really his look that why he's here, looking just sharp.
You're welcome.
God, he says 3 words,
Heavy cross
maybe
the bear.
10 the entire time.
Heavy cross the bear.
You see me just stab my blind eye with the microphone.
At least it was your blind eye.
I was
2
going to say
years,
something, but
1
I didn't want to say it was her blind eye, but then she called it her blind eye, so
It's
that
absolutely
works
my
out.
blind eye.
Well, with that, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you for
know that
having
we're going
me.
to get to see you again, and I know that this is going to resonate with a lot of people.
All right, guys. Have a good night.